Hello, and welcome back to the Obviously Complicated podcast. I am your host, Dave Borowski, here with your co-hosts, Stevie Schafer and Anthony Mone.
Hey!
Let's start off by telling the people where you can be found.
Want to go first, Stevie?
Oh, sure, yeah. I guess find me on Instagram, Made for Stevie Movie. And,
find me on Instagram at Anthony Mone Comedy, and Grindr.
And Grindr. Very, very important to find you on Grindr.
I'm not going to give you my hashtag there. I want it to be an adventure to find it.
Yeah.
treasure hunt.
The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and I do mean rainbow.
And you can find me here on YouTube, where you found this, Dave Borowski, and then also Dave Borowski on Instagram as well, where I will be posting all of the stuff. Does anyone have any upcoming shows other than me?
Dave's like, you guys are losers, but I'll give it a shot. Maybe.
Well, yeah, no. So we're actually starting the only Austin Saturday mic.
Okay.
At Clicks, a little dive bar that's right around the corner from our house. It's on Old Torf, and just east of 35 on Old Torf in South Austin. It is a billiard bar. It has a side room where we will be doing a showcase for an hour every other Saturday, the second and fourth Saturdays of every month, followed by a 2-hour mic. And if you do well on the mic, you can get booked for the next showcase. It is a free show, so it is not a paid gig for comics, but it is an opportunity to get 10 minutes on stage. So that's cool. That's coming up.
Yeah. Maybe co-producing that should be fun.
Stevie's also co-producing that with me. On the off weeks where we're not doing it on Saturdays, we will be doing it on Mondays, and it's just the mic, but still bring your A game because it can get you booked on the showcase.
That's exciting. Saturday mic. That's fucking.
Now there's not one in town.
Trendsetters, you guys.
Trying to do it.
Seriously, it's dope.
Well, it's where all the like all the traffic is going to be. Nobody does a mic on Saturdays in town, so starting a mic on Saturdays is going to be cool. So that's exciting. And if this comes out before February, which we're getting close, but I'll try to post it soon, I will be at Roscoe's Comedy Club on the Heavy Hitter show on February 2nd, and then I will be at Roscoe's on the 3rd, which is a Saturday, with my No Offense show returning. Ryan Joseph is co-headlining. We have a bunch of fantastic comics on the lineup for that show, and there'll be more to come. So, and you can probably catch us all at Roscoe's open mic every Wednesday.
100%, yeah. Notice how the tone changed to a sad tone. You can find us all depressed at the open mic. The drunk and depressed ones, that'll be us. So dude, it's good to see you. I'm glad we're getting to do the pod again. How was home? How was the visit home? It was pretty sick. I think global warming is a real thing. It was fucking like as hot as it is here up there, which is fucking weird. Yeah, it was like rainy. It was like 58 and like rainy in upstate New York in December.
Wow.
So,
shouldn't it be like
weird.
snow and stuff?
You would think it's a fucking mountainous area. Not a lot of people know about upstate New York because it fucking like sucks so bad.
Yeah,
but it's very mountainous.
Early in January, we had to go back up northeast too for my friend's funeral, and yeah, it was not nearly as cold as I thought it was going to be. It was rainy and like kind of coldish, but not crazy bad. And it was like this little Southwest girl who was a trooper. She fucking was.
Team player.
I think I was.
Yeah, we had to get her new shoes and fucking a raincoat, and it was all thrown together way too quickly. For an actual adult
A little manic
adventure, yeah.
It's okay.
But hey, it's what happens when one of your friends fucking kills himself being an idiot. So
yeah, that's rugged, man. Way to kill the buzz up front. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Grab your
the
tissues,
tone
folks.
for the rest of this is gonna be sad.
This is actually a memorandum for his friend. This whole episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck
kidding.
you, Jared Clegg. I love you. I miss you. You beautiful idiot. So I don't know, man. How's comedy going?
Good, dude. I'm doing very well in the open mic scene. I mean, I don't think anybody sees it other than me. But it's going well.
No, I had a great set at Roscoe's Wednesday.
Thanks, buddy. I've been doing well. Yeah, I just gotta like meet the right people. I think is my issue. You know, I'm trying to meet the right people.
Yeah.
Other than you guys, it's been just duds. You know what I mean? Nobody else holds water, man, that I've met. So
I mean, networking
gosh.
is a bitch and a half, but it is part of it. I'm not fantastic at it. I'm just kind of funny enough that I've made a name for myself, so I'm getting booked now. But
and you put your time in too. That's huge.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've been doing it for a while.
Worked hard at it. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I had a killer set at the Dark House comedy show, Francisco show.
Okay.
At Sunset, that was a lot of fun. We got in town from our Northeast trip just in time to hop into a lift to go right to the club.
We got
to
there
put our bags
exactly
down.
when it was supposed to be started.
And the fucking show started pretty much the moment we walked in. And it was like, okay, we fucking made it.
I feel like that's how the legends do it, though. You know what I mean? You show up like fashionably late, just in time to get the set out of the way. You know what I mean? That's some fucking Frank Sinatra shit. I feel like he used to do that. You know what I mean? He was hammered. He was hammered, and he smelled like hookers. But
yeah, we were exhausted and smelled like airplane Bloody Marys, just to get ourselves fucking through it.
There's worse smells. There's definitely worse smells than that.
But, had a great set there. It was a lot of fun. We actually went to the boat.
Nice.
Did not for comedy, for crawfish.
Crawfish.
Oh, okay.
But we got to
much
check
better
it
than
out.
the comedy at the boat. I'm just kidding. It's great. Boat's great.
Have you done that?
I have done actually. That was awesome.
I think
Shout
you're
out
the
to
only
Bryant Smith. Shout out to Bryant Smith.
Bryant Smith
He
and Nick
runs that.
James. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Two fucking stellar guys, and they hooked me up with that. It was cool. I went when it was kind of cold, so it was like 7 elderly folks in the crowd. You know what I mean? But it was fun.
Did you guys do it outside in the?
Yeah, baby. You gotta get the full Austin experience and do these fucking fun outdoor fucking showcases. Those are fun, dude.
I thought moving down here I would not do comedy outside again. I was like, fucking, I don't have to do it in parks in Philly anymore. And then I moved down here and it was like, half the venues are fucking outside.
Fucking nice weather places, man. Just because it's nice weather doesn't mean we have to do everything outdoors, right? I feel like we should spread the word on that. Just because the weather's nice, you're a Texan, you know the weather's nice here. Yeah. But it's like fucking. It doesn't mean we have to do every fucking thing outside.
That's true. It's also like sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's gross, just like everywhere else. I mean, like I wouldn't want to do that when it's like 105.
Yeah, fuck all that. Yeah, you want to be swampy while you tell jokes.
Go up on stage and try not to pass out.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking enough.
Right.
Yeah, you're sweating so much your eyes are burning while you're trying to tell jokes. I remember crying. It's like, no, that's a sweat.
Was one of my first times at the Tiniest Bar, Simply Courtney's mic that he does there. I don't even know if he runs that anymore.
I was going to that for a while. He did run it for a while, but he's always busy doing shit. He has like a kid and shit.
Yeah, he's got 2 kids.
2 kids.
And he's a full-time comic now, so...
Yeah, cool guy though.
I think he passed it off to somebody, but...
I think like random people, I think just get it. It's like by committee.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I remember doing a set there, and the sun had just gone down, but it was still like 103 degrees.
Oh yeah.
And I was like sweating so bad, I was having trouble remembering my jokes. I was like, this is fucking miserable. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Well, doing mics there is good practice and timing though, because you'll be just about to get to the punchline, and then like 4 crotch rockets zoom by on the road, and then you have to wait. So it's actually good practice, you know? Like some police sirens fly by, you're like,
yeah, I don't mind that, Mike. I enjoy it. It's not bad, but it's so many fucking places outside, man. It's strange. It's a strange thing.
Yeah, well, just like I said, the weather's nice, so people just feel obligated to do it.
Well, my first set in Austin ever was at the Creek and the Cave in the outside venue. Yeah, look, the outside part.
Yeah, PTSD from that area.
Oh, God.
I do, dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude. It sucked, too, because it was like just like 11 comics. And it was the first set I'd done in maybe a year because of the pandemic and shit. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to blow the dust off, and the wind blew my notebook closed, so I had to go like in the middle of my set. I did the 2 minutes of the stuff I could remember. All right, fuck, I gotta flip through this and find it. And the goddamn comics were like, you could do that joke, or that one. Or that one, as I'm trying to find the right ones. And I was like, fuck you guys, I'm just out of here. Like,
yeah, they're not nice people.
that was rough. That was rough.
They're not all like us, guys. They're not all funny and nice. They're mostly funny and What'd you say?
So they can't all be golden, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're like the sports package of comics, you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people, you know what I mean? You're trying to toot your own horn because you seem like a dick, but I'm fucking toot, you know what I mean? Like, we're nice and funny.
A little bit.
Do you guys feel like that's a rare combo? Nice and funny? It's usually one or the other with a lot of folks, I feel like.
Yeah, they're like a lot of nice people. You're like, oh, you're a really sweet guy. Fuck, his sets are off though.
Yeah, man, it's hard to watch him on stage.
Or like, they're super funny, and you're like, hey man, great set. And they're like, oh.
Yes.
Why?
Gross.
Why is that?
It's because everybody has fucking imposter syndrome, and nobody feels like you should be able to do this thing. Because it's fucking a weird thing that we're doing. That like it's so fucking cool and fun that like it's like, this can't be like my career path, can it?
Yeah.
This is crazy, right?
Yeah, just like the chance of being able to do it for a living too, I feel like drives people to be like super competitive, you know, which is a good thing. You need
It can be, yeah.
You know?
The competitive nature of it can really be helpful, and especially your early like time doing it, which is weird because I was not competitive about it at all when I first started doing it. I was like, I'm just going to be a horror movie, and I don't give a fuck if people like it. But since moving here and actually trying to like get booked and actually work doing comedy for a living, I've softened that, and I've tried to not be like these fucking gatekeeping cocksuckers that like just will not give you the time of the day until you have some power in the scene, and some clout, because that shit pisses me off. I think it's fucking ridiculous. So I just want to be as approachable as possible. It doesn't mean I'm going to book everybody that I'm fucking nice to, but
you can be nice.
You can be nice.
Like, I think I think you can use like whatever competition and whatever it is as a way to better yourself, but you don't have to crap on other people to do it. I don't think that's a necessary part of it. I think that's just that's people being like insecure about their own like status and ability, and it just comes out.
Yeah, it comes off as being a cocksucker. Like when people are dicks about it. You know, like Hans is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Is that, you know, he's booked me way fewer times than I've asked him to book me. But he's booked me, and he's been nice, and he's done my shows, and he's never a dickhead. And, like, he doesn't even, like, he's on the level that he wouldn't have to give somebody on the level that I'm at the time of day. But he does, you know.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Always says hi, you know, always says good to see you. Always, like, looking forward to working with you soon. Keep grinding. I see you know, you're out there doing good stuff. But, like, somebody that's selling out theaters all over the country doesn't have to fucking do that.
Yeah, he's a rare, like, level of nice dude, isn't he? He's such a cool guy.
Well, I think it's like because he lived in his car for the first, you know, year and a half that he was down here trying to do the thing.
Did he?
Huh? Yeah, he lived in his fucking car for a year and a half trying to do this thing. And, I mean, he got really good in that time, and now he, you know, I think he owns a house here. So it's like...
Pretty cool story.
Yeah, it's fucking inspiring, you know?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that, like, seeks you out to say hello, even though he's doing way better than all of us, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing way better than you, but he'll still see you and be like, oh, hey, man, how you been? You been in the mics? And you're like, holy fuck, I didn't even know you knew me. It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Hans Kim's one of the good ones for sure.
Yeah.
Dude.
He just did a set at Roscoe's, and some of his new material is fucking great.
I'm sure.
Well, he's like, I'm trying to remember, it's his bit, so I'm not gonna do it nearly as good as him. But
I like a lot of his new stuff.
He was like, you know, he's like, I like liberals even though they're faggots, and then he's like, I love like, you know, like rednecks, you know, because they're definitely not faggots, and they're not scared of anything, like not like the government taking their guns or global warming or conspiracy theories or vaccinations or liberals for being faggots. They're definitely not homophobic. It just like went on this tear. It was beautiful. Like, I was like, that's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it's very clever stuff.
That is funny.
I've been working on this new bit about how John Cena is the most requested like Make-A-Wish kid person in the world. So I think like maybe we should just let him fuck the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I saw you do that in Roscoe's. Yeah, I like it.
It's not fully cooked yet, but the concept of like everybody being like, John Cena can fuck the kids. You know, like it's
John Cena, dude. Let him fuck the kids.
He's earned it.
Yeah, he's got it. You know what I mean? And not the downsy ones, like the normal ones.
Yeah, nobody wants to fuck the downsy ones. What?
Well, like, I mean, the girls are requesting to meet John Cena as their last thing. I think they probably want to fuck him. You know what I mean? And what are the percentage of this?
I'm not even gay, dude. I would do. You guys wouldn't do John Cena? You're gay if you wouldn't do John Cena. You know what I mean? That guy's fucking stud.
I'd fuck John Cena, yeah, for sure.
Crazy, man. The fucking traps. I know that's a weird thing to mention. You guys know the trap muscles, the joints up here? Those like weird shoulder muscles? Those shits are fucking gorgeous traps that man has.
Yeah, they're like
little mountains. Like, how do you even hear? There's just this fucking obstruction. The fucking things are like up to here. It's just... How do you hear over those mountains you have?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. It's a fun bit. It's also like, it's cool when you have a bit, even though you know it's not done yet, but you're excited to tell it.
Yeah.
You're excited to do it on stage. It kind of livens up like what can kind of become a grind. Just fucking doing open mics and shit. It's like, I'm gonna do the same 4 minutes of good material for the 4th time this week, and it's like, fucking.
That's probably good to be able to do, though. I feel like I get, like, I'll do something kind of until I think of something else or start to get tired of it, or like I move things around a lot, which is why I have so much trouble memorizing my sets, I think, because I don't do it the same way every time. I don't think I've done one set the same way more than once ever.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I think especially when you're starting out, keeping it fun and exciting for yourself, where you have to keep thinking about what the next joke is going to be, is very important. I think at least. I think that can be very advantageous. And I think it's also, and feel free to chime in on this if you want, it's good to have an act that you can go up and not even have to look at notes. Yes. But keeping yourself excited enough about doing comedy to get to that point, I think, is also very important.
Yeah. And also, like, especially when you're an open micer like me, unfortunately, you also gotta get good at just, like, even if people tell you that they're sick of the shit you're saying, like other comics, just tell them to go fuck themselves and keep doing it anyway. That was hard for me. That was fucking hard for me. Because when I first started, like, I had a lot of jokes about being a barber. You know what I mean? I don't know if the viewers obviously remember from the last episode, but I mentioned I was a barber. And they fucking killed. They did. The barber bits killed. It's just a job that you can make a lot of funny shit happen throughout your day, like by accident sometimes. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But like, you know, after a while, it got to the point where it's like, dude, you're doing the fucking barber bits again. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? You gotta do that. Because it got to a point where I did the barber bits so many times, not only did I have them down, like, I could fucking recite it in my sleep, but I started thinking of new tags and all this shit. So I feel like that's a struggle for open micers. Sometimes you get other comics like, dude, you're gonna fucking do that again, I'm gonna kill myself. And you're like, I'm doing it again, fuck you. You know what I mean? That's not easy to do.
You want my gun? Or yeah, no, it's I got a lot of shit for that back in Philly because I would just continue to do like AIDS and rape material.
I mean, those are go-tos. Those are go-tos, though. In your defense, Dave.
Yeah. And people would be like, God, dude, if I hear you fucking talk about Kesha getting raped by her music producer one more time, dude, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. And I was like, that's what I want to do tonight, so you can go fuck yourself. You know?
Thank you for making me want to do it now. I needed that reinforcement. I can't wait to do it now.
Yeah. Which is I don't know. That's I do think that's very important.
Yes. Like, you guys know, I think that I'm a huge Mark Norman fan.
Yes,
remember
we do.
You guys that? I'm like obsessed. Like, it's my friends think I'm like secretly gay for this dude. I just love the fucking guy, man.
I don't know about secretly.
It's pretty obvious, actually.
Just like full blown gay for Mark Norman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would do him. That's what we're saying. I would do him.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's fucking great too. I'm just not as big of a fanboy as you are.
Yeah, no, I'm over the top. I am.
It's cool. I'm like that with the way it's.
I feel like we have a lot in common. And man, I am gay for this guy. Every day I say, like, man, maybe I am gay. We just have so much in common. We're so similar. Anyway. He said that his best special, it's called Out to Lunch on Netflix.
Oh, you guys have seen it. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Lunch is great.
Anybody who hasn't seen that needs to fucking see that special. It's amazing. But he said he did that material for 4 fucking years straight. Like every fucking gig he got, he did that material for 4 fucking years.
Just honed it.
But because of that, he said it was his best special ever, in his opinion. You know, and obviously he's like, you know, he has high standards. As, you know, he's been a comic for like 20 years now, and he thinks that's his best work because he didn't listen to the people. He said even during his set, people from the crowd would yell like, "We fucking heard this," and we would just keep going anyway. Fuck you. And that's why it was so crispy.
Yeah. It's such a fine. It's a hard line to find. And it's usually between 8 and 10 years is when people do their first hour. So I'm coming up on 10 years, and I've got the itch.
Yeah.
I need to get it done this year. I need to put out an hour this year. Even if I don't, ideally, obviously, I'd like to tour it. I'd like to work in different cities and see how people are reacting to it. But a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is just such like bits, you know, like just jokes that not everybody's gonna like it, and there's not really much I can do about that. I could do the softer stuff up front, really get the room on my side, but it's still gonna be school shooting jokes. You know what I mean? Like it's still
gonna be you, man. You still gotta be you know.
So I don't know if that's as important to like the longevity of my career as it is just getting the hour filmed and done and put out on the internet, so I can scrap all those fucking jokes and start over. You know, which is exciting and fucking terrifying.
I was gonna say that's already. As much as I try to write new stuff and like I don't like to do the same thing 2 sets in a row or whatever, like the idea that like even just all the material that I have right now, which is like maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes.
I think you have about 20.
You think I have 20 now? Cool. But
you
the
were
idea
scared
of
to
just
do
like
10
scrapping
and you didn't even do all the stuff that you wrote in your set list to do for 10.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I was like, you comfortably have at least 15.
Yeah, well, especially now that I'm starting to try to do a little bit with things like crowd work and stories and stuff, that takes up a lot more time.
Yes.
And I didn't realize how, like, I knew it was going to be more, but I didn't realize how much more.
You can do
because most of my jokes are just, like you were saying, yours are like bits. Like, it's just a little, like this, and then it's over, this, and then it's
set up,
quick.
Maybe a
so I can cycle through, 4 bits in the time that it would take me to do like some very light crowd work or like a short story, maybe more than 4.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too and that's also why people like Anthony Jeselnik, Stephen Wright, Jimmy Carr are considered such hardworking comics. Because Jimmy Carr's, if you go see him live, he does 90 minutes to 2 hours, and almost all of it is one-liners. That's a lot of fucking one-liners.
That's fucking impressive, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. I think his longest special is 2 hours on Netflix or his YouTube or whatever the fuck, wherever you can get it now. And it's just called Jokes, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just 2 hours of fucking one-liners.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, bro?
In 2 hours, it's like 306 jokes.
Yeah. Or more.
317 jokes.
Yeah, like,
in 2
it's
hours.
ridiculous how many fucking bits he does.
Yeah.
And some of them are a little, like, verging on, like, a bar joke, you know what I mean? But because he's pumping out so many of them, like, no one kind of gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's one joke that I used to do where it was like, you know what's worse than getting hit by a drunk driver?
What's that?
It's being the drunk driver and getting raped in jail afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, he has one that's very similar. That I stopped telling that bit because it was a little too close. But it's even more bar jokey than that joke that I just told. It's, what's worse than biting into an apple and finding half a worm?
What's that?
Being raped.
I mean that's just true.
I feel like those are different enough that you could.
I could probably still work with that.
Yeah.
But and I came up with it independently of his joke, but that's pretty much just a bar joke. And but it's because it's Jimmy, he can just fucking pull it off, and it's like, who gives a shit? He
on to the next one after that. You don't have a lot of time to.
Yeah, he's written 170 jokes for this fucking special, so just let the man roll.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting stuff. Do you guys want to talk about our movie assignments?
Oh shit! So I didn't watch the movies you guys told me to watch yet.
What?
Yeah, that's my bad. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, but listen, we'll save that for next episode.
Oh God!
I could have lied to you guys and just read a synopsis. I could have done that, but I'm just being honest.
We were up till like 4 o'clock in the morning last night watching these 2 fucking long ass movies.
Well,
fucking podcasts.
Your fucking horizons are broadened. You're welcome. Your horizons are broadened.
So funny.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch them.
I had all this pod material prepared for comparing
his
these 3 movies and like doing the synopsis of like how they all kind of connected.
Oh, I didn't know that. What a cool twist, though, right? Twist, misdirect. We're actually going this way. Anthony sucks, so we're just gonna talk about what we saw.
Oh God.
Yeah, we actually don't need you for this part.
Yeah, we don't need.
I'll chime in though, because I've seen it though. See, that's what we can do is you can just break down the ones that you guys have seen now that I've also seen, which is the ones I obviously recommended.
So we're just gonna talk about The Killer of the Flower Moon then.
I mean, you could talk about that shit for like 3 weeks. That bitch is like a fucking...
It's dense.
Woo!
It's dense. I figured like there was gonna be like 2 hours of movie conversation in this pod because we had to also get through Funny Games and What Dreams May Come.
Ah, fuck yeah! I didn't watch those. I'm going to though. That's my bad.
That's all right.
I'm going to.
That's all right. We'll talk about those 2 movies.
I was like, was it yesterday? I was like, send Anthony like a gentle reminder text.
Oh,
and so you were like,
I did. I was like, this movie we're supposed to be watching for the podcast is real dark and long.
Should have been more.
A little bit more
stern.
like, how did you like the other 2 movies?
Yeah.
That would have made.
You don't like homework, huh?
Yeah, I sucked at homework. Yeah, I sucked at homework. And this is how we're learning each other. Now you guys know I kind of suck.
It's all good.
You guys are great. I kind of suck. And we're gonna grow together as a team.
Can I get your vape?
Hell yeah, bro. It'd be an honor. It's the least I can do after letting the team down. After letting the whole
strawberry.
Yeah. Regular strawberry wasn't good enough. You know, I made them.
It's alright. We'll fuck around and talk about shit.
Of course. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Help yourself, dude.
It's pretty reminds me of strawberry soda.
It's a man of 3-way smooch.
Reminds me of strawberry soda. You remember that shit?
I haven't had it in so many fucking years that I couldn't even give an accurate assessment.
Because it always tasted like that little, like, grainy strawberry candy, hard candy that had the gooiness on the inside, plus
those
carbonation. That's what it always tasted like. And that tastes just like the candy.
So. You just fucking sold me. No, I won't. I'll drink one of those right now. With pride. You just sold me, dude.
I mean, you just like a fucking strawberry soda.
But what did you guys think of Killers of the Flower Moon? Let's fucking hear it.
It was tough.
Like, we're never listening to your recommendations again.
No, it was a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
Just like
long and
dark.
Well,
I mean, all 3 of the fucking movies we picked are dark.
Yeah.
I will say that Funny Games is still my favorite of the 3 movies. It's the one I recommended. It is probably, I don't know if it's the darkest. They're all fucking dark.
They're all dark in different ways.
I think probably What Dreams May Come is the best movie of the 3. So we'll actually talk about that next week. It's very artistic. It's very beautiful, but it's very sad. And Killer of the Flower Moon was also sad, but in a gross, like dark,
visceral,
fucked up, visceral way. Oh God, dude.
His face says it all.
Within like the first 15 minutes of the movie or something, I felt like I already got a history lesson. So I thought, we paused it at we were like, we're probably like an hour into the movie. It was like 34 minutes in. We were like, Jesus, fuck. This is gonna be a whole thing.
Like, damn it, Anthony, I fucking hate that.
Well, we'd already been drinking a little bit, and then we were like, so we want to pause for a cigarette, and we're like, we'll definitely like an hour or something into this 3.5 hour fucking Goliath of a film, and we were like, wow, cool, it's just under 3 hours to go, awesome. But it was really good. The production value of that film was
the costumes, the setting,
out of this world. The
framing,
what a
really
well done period piece, you know. And I was saying to Stevie while we were watching it, I'm not a huge fan of Leo in every role.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Leo's work in every role. Like, for instance, I thought if you cast Ethan Hawke in Inception, it would have been a better movie in his role.
Yeah, Inception was wild.
I liked the movie, but he lost it for me because he was too fucking...
He had seizures during the movie?
He's just a little overacty for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought he could have played it more subtle and close to the chest and it would have been better. But he's just too... I'm sad. You know, you're like, yeah, I get it. But, like, you beat me over the head with it, little guy.
Yeah.
But I like him better in, like, period pieces because I feel like it disappears his kind of over-the-topness a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that he played a moron. He doesn't play him, like, since Gilbert Grape, I don't think he's played a moron.
Yeah.
Does that mean to say? I don't know.
He does stupid really good.
He does stupid, lecherous, horny dude.
Right?
Really good.
Was such a moron.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Robert De Niro's character in the movie has to explain to him, like, normal words and shit. Like, he's, like, extra dumb, you know what I mean? And I think he kills that.
Yeah.
He kills that.
He's like, "Do you read much?" I can read.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
He's like, I'm not thick. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, thick means something completely different now. Like, just
like
dumb.
dense.
Thick-headed is like...
Thick with a CK, not double C.
Just his expressions, though, like, the expression is an idiot.
Thick, not thick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the emphasis. It is. It's about the emphasis.
No, it was good. I mean, like, there's he managed to somehow be sympathetic and empathetic despite him being such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, like, impressive that he was able to pull that off.
Yeah, I kept thinking, I was, like, really hoping for a vindication moment with him.
Where he
like,
actually does the right thing for once.
Yeah.
And it's not, well, I mean, kind of at the very end, kind of. But
kind of a little bit at the very end,
in a
sort of stands up for his wife and their people
like,
a little
cowardly
bit. But
way,
it was really
like,
cowardly.
Too little, too late, like...
Ugh, God, when he's, like, poisoning his wife and poisoning himself. Oh, yeah. If we're going to talk about the film, there's going to be spoilers.
Yeah.
And maybe...
Dude, that was gut-wrenching, man.
Really...
That was fucking visceral.
Maybe it's just my ADHD, but that fucking hat that he wears irritates me, too. Like, dude, can you fucking get a bigger hat? Am I right? You guys know the hat I'm talking
the little...
That gray jump off that he was wearing? Holy fuck, dude, it was like a satellite dish on his fucking head. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with the casting on that. Like, they tried that on Scorsese, was like, I like it. Like, what do you mean? That looks fucking stupid.
You know, I
fucking hats like this.
I think there may have been some symbolism to that, now that I'm thinking about it. Because that's the hat that she gives to him.
Yeah.
And it's like a rich-looking person's hat. Like,
Yes.
it's supposed to be. It's like, it's ostentatious and it's fancy.
It's
and it's
big.
like the first gesture from her to him, really, that's like
Plus it tells you that
this guy. Like,
yeah.
Plus it tells you that she has terrible taste.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, her taste in men is not great either.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Bad taste in hats, bad taste in dudes. Maybe it was like an Easter egg. It was like
No, I mean, I fucking thought the hat was ridiculous, but also I feel like that was like a sign of wealth of the time.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. That was a fancy cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those.
That's
you're
when
not
you get
wearing that like
rich,
when you're
not
actually out going, wrestling cattle or whatever.
Yeah, no,
That's when you wear it in town.
It was really good. I think it overstayed its welcome. I don't think it was about a half an hour longer than it needed to be. That's my major criticism of the length, because I don't mind a long movie. It just it felt like a lot of it was like not very necessary. Like, for instance, Oppenheimer is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
It did not feel 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Killer of the Flower Moon was 3.5 hours long. It felt like 4 hours. Like, you know what I mean? It was going at a crawl for a lot of the screen time of it.
I feel like they were trying to do that. I'm not sure why, but it seemed like with how intentional a lot of the movie seemed, like that's why I was thinking with the hat, like I feel like must be some reason that they did that, because the costuming is so like opulent and like accurate and beautiful.
Yes, and spot
that
on,
like
yeah.
when there's something that's like, why did this seems like wrong and stupid, like maybe there's a reason that like they made you sit in
that world.
Yeah, like uncomfortably so. Like there's two scenes that come to mind immediately regarding that could have been way shorter.
Yes.
Like probably cut out like 15 minutes just between the two scenes that I'm thinking of. And one of them is the like when they're all sitting, like they're doing a meeting in the like tent, and the elders are talking about how the white man is like a poison on their society and like it's like killing them and stuff, and this one guy who's like
Talks
not
like
very
10
good
minutes.
at public speaking, like doesn't really seem to know what he's gonna say next until he's saying it sort of stumbly and like pauses and very meandering,
and he just talks for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they're just like showing just him that whole time. Like there must be some kind of reason for that. But like, or the other one that I was thinking of was like when they're, Molly and Ernest are gonna start drinking whiskey, but then the storm hits and she's like, we need to take a moment.
And
Like,
sit.
and sit. And then they just make you sit with them in that quiet for like
Like
a long
5
time.
minutes, yeah.
I couldn't do that. You guys know me. I couldn't last. That bitch would kill me.
I did also think that the first time that he meets the Robert De Niro character on screen, because obviously knew him before because it was his uncle. When he's sitting there having breakfast with him, that's like a 20-minute scene or something stupid, and I was just like, "What are we doing?" Like, they're just, is he trying to make me feel like it's the beginning of Inglourious Basterds or something fucking wild gonna happen in a second? Well, they just sit there and he gives them a book eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, I can appreciate it. I like movies that, take their time and really sit in it and like force you to kind of be on the ride with it. But for instance, like I was saying with Oppenheimer, like from the very first frame of the movie, I'm like, fuck, I'm on a roller coaster. I'm like clicking up, click, 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 up on a roller coaster. That movie felt like a 2-hour movie to me. It flew the fuck by, because it just grinded at this pace. And I think, obviously that it was intended to be like that. But of the 2023 sort of, historical fiction peace period movies, I think I prefer Oppenheimer. Although, I didn't even fucking know about the Osage until this fucking movies, which was really cool.
Yes, that's what I think Scorsese's like aim was, because that story's so crazy and it's fucked up to the point where like when you hear it, you're almost like, did he really have to tell this story? It's so fucked up. I feel like he felt like he did, because it's so crazy and nobody even knows it happened.
Yeah,
like those fucking dirtbags that were just like killing them for their money and shit. People don't even know they did that shit. Like people shouldn't know how fucked up those people were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of them are married into the Morgan and Chase banking fortune.
By the time that movie ended, I like hated white people and America. I was like, fuck us, fuck this place.
We suck.
Yeah, dude, we're dirtbags.
I think that might be maybe one of like a reason that he did make so many of those scenes like drawn out, because
you really
it's
had to
tough
sit with
and
how
it's like,
gross it is.
but it's like a slog, but it's also like, this element, this thing right here is something that a lot of people don't know about at all. Like the way that they would have those meetings, that's like actually maybe what it might have been like, and you got to listen to this like dopey like guy who is not eloquent at all just talk for a while, or like the other way in the when they're waiting out the like respecting the rainstorm or whatever, like. That's a thing that a lot of people have not ever probably thought to take the space for. Like when they're showing like bits of conversation that you don't get any translation for, or like rituals that are not explained to you. It's like you just have to see. Like if you were a white person in those time periods and you didn't know, you
just had to have that experience.
It's just like that's what it would be like. You don't know the language. You just have to.
I did appreciate
gain whatever
that
context clues for things you can.
No, I really liked that.
As far as like forcing you to learn what this society is like, what these people are like, what this time period and stuff, like I think they did a really good job of that, even if it was a grind.
Yeah. Well, and at the end, he reads this letter from someone from the Osage tribe, like asking him to make this movie, and I think that he intentionally kept that in there and had him actually read it to be like doubling down on like, this shit's real. You know, this is like a movie, but like this shit actually happened.
Yeah.
And I did a little research about it before watching, just because I wanted a little bit more context. And like, all of the people in the film were real people. I don't know how much of the details were like punched up for the movie.
Yeah.
But they were real.
Yeah.
Like all the Osage tribe that got murdered, those are all real cases. And the king or whatever, that was a real guy.
Yeah.
And Ernest, that was a real person that married that actual real woman from that Osage tribe.
Yeah.
So everything in between that, I don't know how accurate it is, but it's all fucking like, you know, these fuckers actually did this shit and got away with it.
Did you see a picture though of what Molly really looks like in real life?
No.
Molly's the main character for people that haven't seen it. Did you ever see a real picture of her?
I think she's the protagonist.
Dude, they were so nice on the casting. Oh my god. Not to be rude. I know I'm not exactly fucking Leo over here. But this broad looked like a bulldog, dude. Holy fucking shit. She just looked angry and old. It was crazy. She looks like just an old fat dude. That's so mean to say. But I'm sure she was a sweet gal.
Did she even get to be old though?
But like, you know, she was like the one pretty one, remember? She was like the one pretty like sister. Dude, she looks like a fucking pit bull, dude. A pit bull with fucking rabies. She looks like a rabies-ridden pit bull in real life.
How tragic is that?
She died at 50. That was a favor. She did herself a favor and died at 50. I'm just kidding. That was too far. But it is funny. If anybody ever is real bored, Google the main character. Her name is Molly. Google.
This is a comedy podcast. At the end of the day,
it's fucking.
We do gotta find the humor.
Woo! I laughed when I saw her picture. I'll say that. I was like, holy fuck! They were generous to this bitch.
Hey,
God
I hope
damn.
if I'm ever like, you know, somebody makes a movie of me, you know, long after I'm dead, like, they can make me hotter. That's fine.
As long as it's not uglier. Don't go uglier. You never
Don't go uglier.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
It's like a caricature. You ever get a caricature drawn? It can be like a 400-pound guy. They still make you skinny. You know what I mean?
Jesus fuck. Oh man. But no, I did enjoy it though, even though it was not supposed to be like comforting or enjoyable, really.
It was certainly not comforting.
It was, you know, I enjoyed it for the artistic presentation and, like, you know, shedding light on how fucked that is to do to a whole group of people, just because you're like, this is whites' lands, and it's like, is it?
It's crazy, dude.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's so fucked up.
You sure about that?
Well, just, you know what I thought was cool? One thing about the movie that I think is kind of subtle that I thought was cool that they slid in there. Like, you guys obviously know the story. Like, we kicked him out and made him go to, not we, because we're not fucking pieces of shit, but the pieces of shit
my
of the time.
ancestry wasn't even here.
Yeah, exactly. But the people that were here, the dirtbag hillbillies that were here,
yes.
They made
those fuckers.
Yeah, they kicked them out to this shithole land that nobody wanted. That's why they sent them there, because it was land nobody fucking wanted. And they struck fucking oil there. How crazy is that? And I didn't know that fucking happened. And they became the richest people in the fucking world. Isn't that crazy as fuck? And you don't even know this shit happened.
They were like, they were in like the top 5 richest families in.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, why don't we learn about that?
And I think because of that,
it's written by the winners. History.
True. Wow. Touche, dude. Too fucking
fucking dirtbag hillbillies.
I hate them. Scumbags. Inbred dirtbags. Anyway, though, and he also, I feel like because of that, Scorsese really took his time in making sure that it was like super historically accurate, like you guys said. But not only just that, he also used real Osage people as actors in the movie. He made that point. Cool. He filmed it on site. I don't know if you guys knew that. Like, the place where all that shit happened is where they filmed.
Wow.
Yeah, like they filmed in those old Osage towns, and I think it's Oklahoma. And he just, like I said, I think, and it is so dark and fucked up, but I think he tried so hard to make it dark and fucked up because he really wanted people to feel just how fucking scumbag, dirtbag-ish those people were. They almost want you to like feel the pain for just a little bit. For just like a tiny, like a little speck of the pain that these people felt. Because they're fucking killing their siblings just to get their money. Like, that's so crazy. And And one more thing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go. I didn't mean to go off on this tangent because this movie like moved me. It really did, as fucked up as it was. But also just the fact that fuck, what was I gonna say? Damn it, I hate when like you got some. No, you're good. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Stevie. But just the fact that I don't know. Fuck. What was
it's like you're feeling the generational pain from this whole like tribe of people. And you can sit in it for 3.5 hours, you fucking scumbag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just like for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Comparatively, you can fucking deal with it. It's uncomfortable.
I was just gonna say that, like, you know, we're talking about how like it's dark and fucked up. It's not dark and fucked up because he made it be that way. Like he is portraying a thing that was dark and fucked up. So like crazy. I don't think he made it like extra worse. Probably actually
not
was.
As dark and fucked up as it really was.
Seriously, mild.
Probably, mild to actually.
And everybody was uglier too, so like,
dude, oh my god, so much uglier.
These things pull some bodies.
It was so much worse in real life.
Yeah.
Oh god, you guys. I'm telling you, all the viewers should Google what the Osage looked like, and you'll all start laughing. Like, oh my god, are those male or female?
There was some fucking like, you know, ponytail drip in the film though. I will say that some of the natives had some fucking sick ponytails, dude.
Hell yeah.
Pigtails, braids, whatever. Fuck, I don't know what you call things.
It's okay. It's all made up stuff anyway.
Yeah. I'm just saying, some of the people like had like big old gold hoop earrings with the braids, and I was like, there's some drip right here. That's some. All right, we see what's going on.
Well, the richest people in the fucking world, dude, they better have drip. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was cool to see the fancy sort of like cross between Native American and Western dress that like really the rich would wear. Wasn't
that interesting? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the jewelry and shit.
Yeah, jealous of that fashion. Like, I can't wear that.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't pull that off today. I couldn't even pull that off.
I did really enjoy, maybe a little too much, the moment where he's like, yeah, I won't do nothing dumb, and then like 10 minutes later he's robbing people. Yeah. Fucking bags over his head. Like,
I love when De Niro too, like during that long debriefing you were talking about, he's like, if you're gonna commit a crime, make sure it's a doozy.
Yeah, that was some foreshadowing.
No small crimes, just big crimes. Just murders, no robberies.
Yeah. Which was, in retrospect, some major foreshadowing, which is probably why I picked it up. I think it was maybe 30 or 40 minutes in the film. I was like, I think Robert De Niro is the antagonist of this film. I think he's the bad guy.
Yeah, you might be right. Like, he might not be as nice as he seems. And I was like,
he just turns out to be pure evil.
Yeah. Like, that's probably an interesting character to play, right?
Oh, I bet.
Imagine like, trying to get yourself in the mode of being like one of the worst people ever.
Oh, he fucking nailed it too. Yeah. You know what I mean? He really brought it for that
He's
role.
a good actor, he is.
He's really a little always De Niro for me. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him like completely disappear into a role, except for maybe Taxi Driver. Mm-hmm. But even that, he's still. You talking to me? He's still got a little bit De Niro in him, you know what I mean?
He's too much of a guinea. He's too greasy to ungreasify for certain roles.
Whereas, like, Christian Bale, for instance, like, he'll vanish into a character, and it's like almost unrecognizable. You're like,
Gary Oldman's my favorite.
Gary
Oldman's incredible.
He's so fucking
He'll just, like, completely shed his skin.
He's just some completely other person.
You could just pick any famous historical figure and you could just play them with like a little makeup. It's insane, dude. It's insane. He does it too. It's incredible. Like, you know how many movies I've seen where like I didn't know it was Gary Oldman until after because the makeup and just the acting was so good. I was like, who the fuck was that guy? Yeah. Jesus Christ, he looked just like Winston Churchill. I was thinking that like this might have been Winston. Like it might be like a Tupac situation where Winston's actually 156 and he's in Cuba now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, that's one of those wild things too, man. Is that why South America? Why is it like all the people like Tupac, Winston Churchill?
Probably because that's where a lot of the Nazis went, and they were like kind of.
Well, I get it with Hitler because like a bunch of Nazis escaped to South America, and then built these little goofy Nazi communities, which is a real thing. That's very strange.
Yeah,
but like. I don't know, you think that's the inspiration for that, it always being, it's South America.
Well, I mean,
or you think it's something about the culture, because like, it's like a place you can just go disappear.
I think it's probably both. I think it's a combination of things. I think there's also probably some sort of like colonial, like programmed imperialistic ideas about that kind of stuff too, because we consider, a lot of those places like third world areas, and if they're third world, then that means that they're not civilized, and there's chaos and it's easy to disappear because there's no the government is all messed up, and like I think we have this view of it, whether or not it's accurate. A lot of times I think it's not, but like we have that concept of these places as being like loose and lawless and drugs and whatever.
Interesting.
Like,
how do you feel about that?
I think they usually make it places where Americans either don't. Well, you kind of touched upon it, but without saying it, but where Americans either can't go or don't go. You know what I mean? Those because Americans are the biggest like whistleblowers, and like even back in those days, like I think they went like Cuba, for instance. Like they always say Tupac's hiding in Cuba. Americans can't go to Cuba, so that would be a place where he would hide if he were to go there. You know what I mean? You're talking about like way worse people than Tupac. You're talking about like fucking.
I don't think Tupac was necessarily a bad guy, but
Tupac's hanging out with Nazis in Argentina.
But yeah, it's interesting, but like. When you like listen to people like Henry Rollins, who they're like Americans shouldn't go here. He's like, I'm booking a flight right now, and then he talks about it on stage. He talks about going to Iraq and like hanging out and like immediately feeling like accepted and loved, and it is not like how they show you on TV. He fucking loves doing that kind of shit. And he's like, when you go to these places, there's just people there,
and there are people everywhere. Yeah,
and they're just people.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, my favorite thing to say is, I'm here to meet you. I'm here to meet you. Thank you so much. This is the reason I came. And immediately people are like, cool, do you want to come have dinner with our family? Like, He was like, yeah, sure. I used to sing in this band Black Flag. He's like, dude, Iraqis like Black Flag. How cool is that? And he's like, yeah, I went to, Singapore, and like people knew who I was. And they were like, oh my God, you're Henry Rollins. We love Black Flag here. Like, people have little Black Flag stripes on their jackets. And he's like, rad. I don't know why they said we shouldn't be here. Like, doesn't make any sense.
That was, for the most part, how I found Colombia to be when I went there. It was
Been to fucking Colombia?
Yeah.
That's gangster as fuck. That's fucking sick, dude.
My family was
drug mule?
Was not happy with me about it. No, I was not a drug mule. There were a couple of like. That's one of the things I think that Americans are scared of and like don't trust necessarily, but that makes travel a lot easier is like, well, first of all, learn the culture before you go there.
Yeah.
As much as you're able to. I didn't have that much preparation. By the time I got to Colombia, I'd already been traveling for a month and a half or so. So I learned a little Spanish, but basically listen to the locals. Because we would go to like this little town, and they'd be like, okay, go east from here. Don't go west. Because west is where the problems are. If you go over here, you'll be totally fine. So it's like, listen to those people.
Right.
If they're like, hey, in this area, don't stay out after dark. And that really all you need to do to get that kind of information is go around and talk to the nice people. And we had, I can't tell you how many times we would be like, just getting done from like taking shelter during a really terrible rainstorm, and like somebody would be like, hey, you guys shouldn't be out here in this, like come home with us to like meet my family and like stay with us for a few days. Or like, if they didn't have the space for that or whatever, they'd be like, hey, you can set up your tents in my backyard, like whatever, like, and still like bring us coffee in the morning. Like very, very good.
Salt of the earth people.
I mean, yeah, and it's just, just like people.
That's so cool.
I will say, I do think that as a woman traveling, you have to be a little bit more careful, because like I have a friend who had an experience, I believe it was like Tel Aviv or something. I don't remember. But she was sailing around, and they stopped in at a port somewhere in North Africa, and I'm not going to say it's her fault or she was asking for it or anything like that, but just like culturally, like I think she was in like a tank top and shorts or something, and she was just like going to walk along the beach a little bit, and she gets swarmed by like men huge crowd of people, and they're like picking at her and like grabbing at her, and they had to get the fuck out of there really fast. Luckily she had a big Nordic scary looking Slavic
she had a Viking
boyfriend. He's Polish actually. Slavic. Who was and their ship captain was able to get through the people and stuff, and it was like she was like I didn't even necessarily feel like they were malicious or trying to hurt me, but it was like it was so different for them that they were like, this can't be a thing that's happening, and they, so that's scary.
Yeah,
that's like scary, people are people, but like sometimes there's a breakdown.
I do think that traveling as a woman
and stuff like that
is probably.
I would not have wanted to travel in Colombia by myself, for instance, because my Spanish is not that great. My self-defense skills are not that great. My navigational skills are not that great, and it's a lot. For traveling in a group of people, I think you can go probably pretty much anywhere. But like the lesson that I got from that when my friend told me about it was like, know before you go, like what it's going to be like.
Yeah, what the culture is like.
Right, because even if I don't agree with the fact that like women should have to go out covered or have some sort of thing like that, that is the way it is. And I want to respect that culture while I'm there, because I don't want to be the American who goes around like jet setting around the world, disrespecting other cultures wherever I go. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't want to dispel that.
And you also don't want to get mobbed.
And I also don't want to get mobbed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Plus, you don't want to be a sexist stereotype. You know what I mean? Like the Americans that do that are from Texas.
No, you know what? A crazy thing that I noticed when I was traveling in South America, and I think it's like this in a lot of other places too, is like I would say. Like, you say that you're from the United States, and people are like, okay, whatever. And you say you're from Texas, and people are like, oh, yeah, Texas! You
How many people have you killed?
Of course. You wear a cowboy hat? Like, they would get excited because, that's a place that you see portrayed in films. Like, if you told people that you're from
New York,
the U.S., they'd be like, yeah. You tell them you're from New York, they'd be like, oh, the Big Apple, you movie star, like Broadway, they have these cultural touchstones. Yeah.
Which skyscraper do you live in?
Yeah. So it's actually, I think it's like general Americans, there's this idea about them, but if you're from a place that's like depicted in media and stuff.
I actually had an interesting time when I traveled to Turkey.
They loved us.
Oh yeah, true. There's states that are interesting and have like good reps there, right?
Yeah. When I tell them, oh, I'm from Delaware, they're like, what? What the fuck is that? They like, it's a state in the United States. Like, oh, but like not a good one. I'm like, yeah, not a good one. Like, yeah.
You said Delaware, like everybody pulls their phone. Do you hear everybody pull out their phones and Google Delaware? Like, oh, it is in the U.S.
No,
he's not full of shit. It's a real place. It's a real place, everybody.
I think this was before Pocket Google. I think it was right at the very beginning of like smartphones. Because I was 16, so we're talking 19 years ago. Yeah, so like I think it was definitely like it gotten to the point where pretty much everyone had a cell phone, but it was still like T9 shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was not like it was. I think I had a flip phone at the time, so it wasn't like I could just Google that right now level stuff. But I will say that the people that like talk to me about that, like, oh, obviously you're American. We can hear it. You don't speak Turkish, so we're talking to you in English. We can hear your accent. We know you're American. It's like, but then I tell them I'm from Delaware, and they're like, it was either like, I don't know, or they're like, where in the country is that? And that made them curious to learn about it, which was interesting too.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you told them you were from Texas, they'd be like, they'd get fucking excited. They'd be like, you drink whiskey, you drink
whiskey, you have a revolver on your hip all the time.
Yeah, you ride around horses in town. Yeah.
Instead, you say Delaware and they just walk away.
I had some legitimate things where they're like, I don't know, whatever, Do you know where Istanbul is? And it's like, we're in Istanbul. It's like, that's the only fucking reason you know where this is. It's like, that's probably true.
That's the only place in Turkey I know. Name another place in Turkey.
I don't know. Well, it used to be
Mukak.
Constantinople.
Mukak?
Mukak.
There's a place called Mukak.
Mukak.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm good. Now I have a bucket list place to visit.
It's
Mukak.
this
so
little
good,
village that
Mukak.
we built a orphanage in. It's right outside of Istanbul. It's about like an hour and a half outside of it.
Damn.
And
It's
that's the only
technically
reason that you
Asia.
know why it's there is because
Yeah,
you
that's
went
because I
there.
went there. We built like a orphanage there because I don't know, there was like some sort of like a semi-civil war or whatever that happened. So there was just like an insane amount of orphans in this one place because like all of like the parents had like fought in this thing or whatever conflict it was and died. So now there's just like hundreds of orphans in this one little town. So we went and built this fucking orphanage. And I did drywall for a fucking like 4 days.
Damn.
and like carpeting and stuff.
I feel like you guys
Cool.
You guys both have way cooler stories than me. Like you're fucking.
I don't
you're
know,
like
man.
in Colombia. You're fucking building orphanages and shit. I like hardly travel.
fucking-
You know what I mean? Like
I was a
fucking-
teenager that
You did get stopped by military police a couple times.
yeah. Her travel
Vigilante,
stories are actually
dude.
like cool as fuck. I went on a fucking mission trip when I was a teenager with my parents' church, so it's not like
But still, that's cool. As fuck.
it was fucking cool, man. It was really cool. There's one house that was like this prayer house, and you know I'm not a Christian or anything. I was trying to be at the time, but it was weird, man. It was like you like it was always quiet, and it was 24 hours a day open as a refuge and like a prayer ceremony, like where people come and just like pray and worship God, like Jesus, like Christian God, without any like oppression from like the Islamic government or military or anything. So it was weird. Like when you walked in the house, you could feel this like safety and calmness to it, because like every time anyone was ever in this place, they were just pouring this stuff into it. And like the local sort of underground Christian church in Turkey had like staff members that would, you know, part of their like serving would be that they would just go live there and prepare food for whoever showed up and just pray for like 8 hours a day and then cycle out every so often. And it was like the house itself just felt powerful. It was like wildly like intense. And I don't think I've ever been in a place that had such a like benevolent spiritual force ever in my life. It was fucking wild. It was one of the few things that like almost completely convinced me that like, you know, Jesus and Christianity and stuff is real. It was like I can feel the difference in here. It's like warm and like just safe and like quiet in this like beautiful way. Like you could almost just immediately tap into like the spirit like realm just by being in that like space that was like consecrated for it.
Damn.
And because it was like underground, it kind of had like be like a little sneaky. It like brought more gravitas to it or something. I don't know. It was really interesting, but
Fuck, dude.
I'm not sure if I even think Jesus was real. So, but either way, like I do think that belief and intention can create that kind of stuff. And it was really, really fucking wild.
That's wild, man. I gotta travel more. That's what I learned from our talk today, guys. Shit. You guys have seen some shit. I've been to like the Caribbean. That's the coolest
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking
Yeah.
cool.
What,
We're just on cruise ships and shit. Like not like fucking
Like
doing-
backpacking.
Yeah, you guys are doing like crazy shit. That's sick. I'm fucking jealous. What were we gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna ask what your favorite like part of it was, or did you touch in anywhere? Get to do anything cool? Like
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I like snorkeling. I'm a fucking snorkeler. I don't know about you guys.
I
hate
I've
water.
only been snorkeling like twice.
That makes snorkeling tough.
Yeah.
I don't like jellyfish,
Who does? Fucking evil creatures. Fucking
and I'm
devils.
terrified of drowning.
Minions.
So I had a thing in Panama where it was like, just suddenly there's jellyfish everywhere, and I was like, I'm gonna drown and die. Cool.
So you've been to fucking Panama too?
Yeah, that was
Holy shit.
the trip. I was supposed to do a semester abroad my last semester of college, but had some family stuff happen, and so that didn't work out. So instead, for myself, as like a graduation present, I got myself a trip to Panama for it was like for one of my classes. I was taking an evolution class, and Panama is like one of the most biodiverse places in the world. So it's a cool place to like study that.
That's cool.
See a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that if you're from Panama, you're Panamanian. Doesn't that fucking sound awesome?
Really,
doesn't that
Panamanian.
doesn't this come off the tongue so perfect?
Yeah.
Panamanian.
That's
Panamanian.
it's a fun term for sure.
Right.
What do you think of the Animaniacs?
I just have ADHD. That's all that is. We need a.
So see New Yorker with
the Caribbean
ADHD.
side of Panama was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably by the coral reefs and shit. I bet. I know you're not a
Yeah,
snorkeler,
we didn't really. I think I saw part of like a shipwreck.
that's fucking badass.
But
It's fucking badass.
the food was really good, and I liked. I had never heard like I can't remember what it's called, but the language that they speak in the Caribbean, it's like kind of English. It's like a pidgin language.
Yeah.
It's like French, English.
It has a weird
like,
name. It's like a cow or something.
Spanish,
Sacasao or some shit like
this
that. Yeah.
crazy amalgamation. It's like really, I would just sit and listen
French,
to them.
English.
Some hybrid
I would just
shit.
sit and listen to them because I could understand like maybe a sixth of what they were saying, but like trying to figure out like where I could catch words and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
It's like
interesting,
it was cool.
Just catch them talking shit. That's what it is.
Probably.
That's what
They
you're
were like,
American.
this white bitch, what's she doing?
When you're
Why is
white-
she just sitting over there
Yeah.
looking at us?
When you're white and American in any other country and everybody's just speaking the other language, you know they're talking some shit.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
That's just you know what I mean?
It may just be internal. Maybe they're not even fucking working.
I would have
but
people.
True, yeah, it might be in your head.
I would have people like I remember when I started getting good enough at Spanish to catch. It wasn't necessarily
when
people
people were
talking
talking
shit, but like they would like I would try to say something in Spanish and like especially when I first went, I grew up my whole life in Texas, so I think when I think Spanish, I think Mexican Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But the dialects and the vocabulary are different wherever you go. So I would like try to say something and they would like laugh at me because they're like this gringa like
Don't
that's
even
some
know.
Mexican shit. Oh, essay like or like I don't know. There's like sometimes I think they would like think that I understood less than I did or something and be like like kind of pervy, like flirty, like give me a little kiss, like give me a little bit like in Spanish, like besito. It's like I'm on to you. I'm on to you. Stop it.
How do you say no, creeper, in Spanish? The fuck?
I don't know how to say creeper, but like déjalo or like
No más, punta.
There you go. No more, bitch. I know that one. I know that one.
punta is point.
So puta, not punta, right? Puta,
Punta
is
is
bitch.
something else.
Puta and punta. Right?
I don't fucking
The
know
N.
enough. I'm a
The
dumb
N makes all the
American.
difference, right?
Yeah.
Right? Punta.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Puta is bitch.
I am going to take a pee and cigarette break, so we will be back momentarily, guys.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, it's like for that style, it's really good.
Well,
You
for
can
me,
get,
I'm from a place that doesn't even have good barbecue, so this is like for me, this is good. You probably had like the real shit.
I'm gonna take you to some places, yeah.
Yeah, that was she's like pussy.
Thank
Bill Miller, you pussy.
Yeah, I'm still a baby. I'm still a Texas barbecue baby.
We got it. We got it covered. We have
It's
a barbecue.
delightful down here.
We could do a little mini like
Bring the laptop,
yeah.
set it up in a barbecue joint, and
Yeah.
just get down to it.
It's not a bad fucking
Be fun.
idea.
All right, so now I'm going to ask the question that probably none of us have a good answer to.
Yeah.
Has anybody been watching the news?
I try not to watch the news. I'll be honest with you guys.
Also.
'cause
I also try not
I'm
to.
still,
I just thought, it might be a cool segment. I had for the last spot, I actually watched the news and the Republican debates and stuff.
Yeah, I remember you did
to
that.
have it be a topic we could discuss. I haven't been watching the news either because it got too depressing.
Why did you start this
brutal.
topic?
Well, because now it's funny that
she's
the
like,
know
news
what the hell is
segment
going
that
on.
none of us have consumed any
she's
news.
like, I hate the news. Anybody else?
Well, that's an interesting thing to talk about too. Is that why do the three of us who obviously are in entertainment and the stuff that we've chosen to do, we still don't feel it's necessary to be plugged into the news.
I'll say one thing specifically regarding comedy with that is I feel like it's cool to bring stuff out that's based on current events, but it's also that's immediately burnable material. You can't like in a couple months, maybe
it's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be, and then if it's it's filmed or whatever, like years down the line, nobody's going to know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there are some certain like touchstone, really important things that will still be relevant, and people are going to learn about later in the history books or whatever. It's going to continue to be relevant, but the like day to day.
Yeah, like when Trump was in office, like, oh, Trump's tweet today was this.
Like it's good material for right now, but it doesn't age well, I don't think.
And I honestly, I've only ever done the one Trump joke. It's just my favorite part of having black friends is, or one of my favorite parts of having black friends is we can all agree that Donald Trump was funny without people being little bitches. Because fucking white people get so upset about Trump. In one way or the other, I just thought the guy was funny.
He was funny. He's a fucked up guy, but he's funny.
He's a very, very funny individual. Well, there is this one thing that happened that the internet is on fire with conspiracy theories about, which I thought would be interesting to talk about. Have you heard about the alien assault on the mall in Orlando, I think it was?
Miami. I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking video footage seems a little too, like, fucking some nerd made it in his basement, right?
Well, there's no legitimized video footage.
I haven't seen it.
The video footage that exists is not been verified to be real.
It can't be, because it looks like fucking Spielberg made it. You know what I mean? This is Spielberg, like some.
I haven't seen it, but
some Indian like tech student like fucking went to town and like trying to fool everybody. That's what it looks like.
But like apparently there's like 8-foot shiny black aliens that assaulted a mall.
Yeah, and black people.
Why would they go? Why? When they finally reveal themselves, why would it be at a mall in Orlando? What
Miami, yeah.
Possible in Florida in general? Why?
Don't judge us by Florida. Aliens, please don't judge us by Florida.
I have this like I don't remember where I first heard it, but like the idea that the reason that aliens visit like people in the country or like
small town places
is because people are just going to think that they're like hillbillies and not believe them. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why. That could be why.
It's an interesting theory. Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And a mall also. Like why not like a consulate or I don't know, a bank even. I don't know if aliens want money, but like a mall.
There's probably just like a crazy sale on
like,
Crocs.
Oh, we're just here for anti-ants.
There was a sale and they heard about it.
Yeah.
There's a sale on Crocs. What?
Aliens love Crocs.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the whole thought process of that is, but like the fact that there's enough people that were present that are like saying it happened is interesting.
Okay, multiple eyewitness accounts are somewhat compelling to me.
And then also the fact that the like mainstream media and government official narrative is that it was a bunch of like goth teenagers.
Yeah, like
playing with fireworks.
Yeah, or bomb threat or something. That's how they put it out, right? But like that's really what it was, supposedly.
Right, well that's always as the air balloon, as whatever. They've always got
some sort of dumb thing that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, enough sense that people can be like, I can sleep at night. It's probably just that.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I thought it was curious. Eddie is doing a bit about it.
Yeah.
That's how I learned about it.
Well, and that's wild too.
I learned about a lot of news with like just people are doing bits. I'm like, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say I get my news from open mics at this point.
Not a reliable source.
No, not reliable.
I don't know which one's darker. I'm not sure.
Getting your news from open mics or getting your news from the news?
Yeah, just watching the news or listening to depressed comics talk about it. I don't know which one's more depressing. I don't.
It is funny though that for pretty much a year of my life at this point working at a comedy club, that is where most of my news has come from.
I'm sure. I'm sure, dude.
I don't know. Because I know the news is mostly full of shit. and it's definitely like a fear tactic, and it's a business that's trying to just create more viewership. So I don't think it's trustworthy. The news that I watch is independent. Like, I watch not all of it, because I feel like Russell Brand is a decent investigative journalist that goes and finds these things and tries to get them out in the public eye a little bit more. However, I feel like he still falls into that same thing of like, it's every one of his YouTube videos is like, I can't believe the government's doing this now, and it's like, they may be, but like, I kind of don't like your marketing about it. It feels that same like fear tactic-y kind of
that's how
outrage
you get
bait.
people to watch news. Yeah. I think we talked about that on the last podcast. To me, it's like, well, first of all, I have a bit of an anxious disposition, like anxious, depressive disposition. So like, being inundated with almost exclusively negative stuff, trying to figure out what's going on in the news is kind of overwhelming. In addition to the fact that I think that to really consume the news in a responsible way and actually figure out what's going on, what you need to do is gather from multiple sources. Like, that's the few times that I have really tried to tap into what's going on, I'll go and I'll watch, the news organizations that are typically considered conservative a little bit, the ones that are typically considered liberal a little bit, the ones that are fringe or independent a little bit, whatever, YouTube, and then put it all together. And that is a lot of work. I do think that it leads to maybe the closest that you can approximate to the truth of the thing.
I agree.
Because you see how different people are presenting, like with different agendas, are presenting the same thing, event or whatever. But like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and maybe we'll start with Anthony. Do you guys think that it is... Well, first of all, do you agree with the statement that I think that for the most part, the general populace is the least plugged into the news, maybe in our lifetime so far?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you notice, it almost kind of seems like most of the folks that are into the news that are older. Doesn't it seem that way?
Yeah.
My parents watch it like it's fucking gospel, dude.
Yeah.
Everything they say in the news, my parents like run up and do it. Like, they were the first people boosted and fucking vaccinated and fucking the first people in line to vote. Like, anything they say on News Channel 10, that's our local news, they like fucking take it to heart, because they're old. They're fucking old people.
Right.
Local's probably better also to an extent.
To an extent. I don't know how much of an extent, but
I think that, I don't know, I kind of agree with that, but I think also just like the format in which we're like getting news, like what I'm thinking of when I say news, and it sounds like you guys are talking about when you say news, is like news on a network, like reading whatever, New York Times,
right,
like
these
things like that. But like, I think probably younger people are getting their news from
TikTok.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's
better,
a good thing
or worse. I don't know.
But it's different. I think they're still consuming, things about current events. I think it's just going to change the way that it's presented.
Yeah, I don't know. And then also, do you think that it's a good thing or a bad thing if we're the least plugged in? Because there's the one side of it where it's like, are we just choosing ignorance is bliss over being plugged into current events and what's happening in the news and whatever that format means, or is it we're getting like less away from the machine that has been driving and kind of brainwashing people for generations?
I just feel like the people that like drove the like brainwashing machine you were talking about also run the other shit now. You know what I mean? Like they're just portraying it now through us scrolling instead of fucking turning on the TV. It's the same like bullshit tactics and shit. You know what I mean? I just take it all with a grain of salt.
I think fair. You're right, because I mean, if being plugged in, it to me it's like it's maybe a good thing that we're less plugged into that, but I think it depends on what else we're plugging into. Like if we're not paying as much attention to that, that's kind of dying out a little bit, what are we paying attention to instead? Is it actually better? Or is it just, a substitution for something else with less attention span and these huge tech corporations that definitely have at least as much of an agenda as the news networks do, and maybe more, because they have so much money and they have so much reach that it far eclipses something like CNN even. So I don't know that I would trust that anymore than I would trust
legacy media.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
And maybe less, because it's also really hard, like with the news networks and stuff. I feel like most people, at least conceptually, can be like, okay, there is some kind of agenda here, they have a tendency to lean this way or that way. I think that is greatly obscured with getting it through social media, because it's coming from all over the place, and you don't see. I think it's harder to pick out, like, what is the algorithm actually trying to show me? What is this new update that, when I scroll up, like, populates with other stuff? Like, what is that actually doing? How is that changing my experience? It's completely obscured. We don't get to know about it or why it's changing that way at all.
That's interesting.
And I think, at least if I'm like, okay, this is a conservative news network, this is a liberal news network, at least I can be like, okay, pretty clearly, that's the agenda. There it is. It's at least out on the table enough that it's not hard to figure out. But with this stuff with like TikTok and whatever, like, who knows? The people who are working on it. But then they fire all of their like ethics committee people whenever they're like challenged too much on anything. So like, it's probably not great. I don't know what it is, but I don't trust it.
No, that's fair. How do you feel about that? What you just said.
I don't know what it was. It was the look on your face. It was like, that was like a 2020 look. What do you think about that?
I'm trying to be a decent interviewer.
All right, sorry, Walters.
I don't know.
Host a fucking pod.
No, I'm just messing with you. I liked it. No, it was intense. Dude, I was like nervous to answer. I was like, fuck, dude, am I under oath right now?
Thank God we have Anthony on the pod, or else it would just be a fucking waxing philosophical pod between me and Steve.
We're just two smart people and one retard. That's what we should call this pod. Two smarts and one retard.
Yeah,
it's obviously
that'll sell well.
It's obviously complicated, yeah. It's very complicated. No, but seriously, what are your thoughts on it?
I agree with everything Stevie said, honestly. I really do. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm one of those people, I'm always open-minded. Who the fuck really knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many theories, and I agree with what you said earlier, where you should just kind of hear what everybody has to say to kind of get your opinion on what it is. You know what I mean? Because you never fucking know. The last time that the newspapers were legit were probably like in the 1700s, right? I think ever since GW, ever since George Washington, it's just been the news has been getting more and more corrupt. I think, because you even hear stories. Like, I'm a little bit of a history buff. I won't get into that because everybody will fucking fall asleep. But
I like history.
But
you're like, oops, I'm smart a little bit.
Yeah,
you can't hide it. It's slipping out.
But that's like when propaganda and shit, at least in the U.S., like started was with GW and shit, dude, with George Washington, is they would like sneak things into the news to try to like make the people think a certain way and shit, you know? So I don't know. I don't know if the news has ever really been trustworthy, right?
Well, probably as long as there's been print, there's somebody with an agenda behind it. You know what I mean?
100%.
All right, well, fuck the news. Let's go. Let's get wacky. Let's get wild. Let's roast a bowl and.
I like wacky and wild.
And
bowl roasting.
Getting some goof territories.
Yes.
And then we'll end with Geek Boys.
Dave's like, let's cater to the retarded guy for a little bit. me and Stevie said esoteric enough times. Let's talk about things the retarded guy will like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like waxing philosophical as much as the next guy, but maybe more if the next guy is you. But also, like, I mean, essentially this is supposed to be a comedy podcast where not only the funny thing is just us being like, well, I didn't fucking know about that shit. So I don't know. It's Is there anybody that has a bit concept that they've been chewing on that they're really excited about?
Yes.
was hoping we were gonna do a segment like this again because I'm working on some shit right now, and it's very early. It has like no punches. But when I was back home visiting, isn't it nice? I don't know if this happens to you guys, but anytime I get back with my fam, I start thinking about bits because they're just goofy motherfuckers like me. You know what I mean? So like, because I'm 33 and single with no kids, like my family just is constantly trying to figure out why. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So pretty much anything I do that's like bad etiquette or gross, it happened to me like 3 different times from 3 different people. So I gotta write this shit down. I had 3 different members of my family at times when I did gross shit be like, "You don't do that on dates, do you?" And I have to, it's just a premise right now, 0 punches, but that concept has to be made into a joke.
Oh, for sure.
I'm 33, everybody wonders why I'm
Oh no, I
What did
jerk
you do
off
that
onto
was
my
gross?
own stomach during.
Like I think I like ate something with my fingers
your family?
instead of using a fork at one point. I was at my mom's house, dude. I'm not
Okay.
gonna do that at a French place with a nice gal. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that.
There's
But
palm and scampi.
mom's like, "Oh, here's more chicken." Like I can't grab a piece of my fucking hand or I'm a delinquent. Like what the fuck, dude? Oh, I think another point. I was picking my nose. Everybody does it. It was a hard bug. What's
Yeah.
better than removing a hard bug?
Yeah, the,
yeah, but
the
you get a-
crusty ones, like,
you get a little
you
spiky
can't
guy.
stay in there.
Yeah.
When you get a, not to be gross, but when you yank out a good enough bug and respiration increases, like you're like breathing better from it, that's like better than a turd, dude.
When somebody comes up with something that's
It's like
better to
picking
pick my
scab.
nose with than
Yeah.
my finger, then I won't.
But I was in the backseat of my sister's husband's SUV, and I had a hard bug, and I flicked it out the window like a good American.
Like an American.
Like any good citizen would do. I just put it on the seat. I could have rubbed it on the seat, bitch. What would you have said then? You know what I mean? But she turned this towards me mid-flick, and she just goes, "You don't do that on dates, do you?" And I was like, I gotta make this a bit now. I fucking
Yeah,
have to.
like, I want this person to sleep with me.
And
No.
yeah, and you can relate to every other incel in the crowd. Every incel in the crowd like me is like, my mom does that too. Every time I fucking eat a rib without fucking
I like your incel voice, that was good.
Every time
Incel voice is just king of the hill.
Bobby,
God damn it, Bobby boy. You don't do that on dates, do you?
Nobody wants to fuck you, Bobby.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So that's one of them. I have another one I'm working on too. Have you guys ever heard of these? I actually think you guys saw me. I did it for the first time at Rasco's the other day at the open mic.
Okay.
Because my life's sad. That's the only time I get on stage. Is I go to mics. But about those porn expos.
Oh,
Have you guys
yeah.
heard about these things?
I have.
People really do that. Like there's porn expos where porn stars wear scantily clad outfits and they sit around at like civic centers and they sign autographs for you. Like so the concept pretty much of like what do you talk about while you're getting the autograph? Like if it's a pro athlete, like it's totally different. You can't say
Your
like
3-pointer is fucking incredible.
yes.
Whereas it's like, dude, you're 3 dicks in you at one
Yeah.
time. It's just like the way you get airtight is.
Yeah. The way you do that pepper grinder fucking hand job, like with the twist, it's amazing. Seriously. You're so inspirational. Like the way you take a dick is inspirational to our whole fucking society.
Your butthole game.
You know,
Yeah, that was one of the examples I used.
that probably is, like, that's probably
Yeah.
That's probably what it's like, yeah.
Yeah, like the way your asshole
Like,
gapes.
it's a funny joke, but, like, that's probably
Yeah,
about
true.
what-
It's like the way your butt gapes. Your parents must be so proud. What about you guys? You guys got some premises you're trying to turn into legendary jokes?
The,
or
the
what?
one that I've been really chewed on is the John Cena fucking Make-A-Wish kids.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the premise of that bit. I'm still trying to iron it out, but it's such a funny fucking concept.
Definitely.
I also loved like that Hunter, who was hosting the mic, after I did that bit and was trying to work on it, and I was like, come on guys, if it was Jennifer White going to meet Make-A-Wish
I
kids,
remember
we'd be
this.
upset if she didn't fuck them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but it's John Cena. All of a sudden now that's like, no,
Yeah.
come on. You know, like,
Yeah.
let him fuck the kids. You know what I mean? I just think, I don't know, there's something about that I just find really fucking hilarious. I can't.
It is funny.
I can't figure out exactly the right way to do it, but I like it so much, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Dude, you know what I've thought about?
She got so mad at me. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So the night I was writing this bit, we were drinking, hanging out, smoking a cigarette on my patio, and I just, for the whole time we were smoking a cigarette, just kept coming up with new tags for the bit. And
That's
just kept
awesome.
throwing them out there. And she was like, I hate this so much.
why are you talking about like a fucking nice man being a pedophile? Like, it's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
It's usually the nice ones too. I'm just saying.
Jesus. Too nice.
It's usually the nice ones that are like,
Back around to not being nice.
But I was gonna say,
You want me to pack that up?
if you don't mind,
I
what
do
a
not.
legend, dude.
I try, to be a guy.
You can always count on the guy with the green hair to just volunteer to pack a bowl for you. What a guy.
I'm actually not usually the weed guy, but
Oh no, I know you're
I
not.
thought this would liven up the pot a little bit.
I respect that, buddy. But no, I actually when I first saw you do that bit, Dave, it made me think. Just because you mentioned Make-A-Wish, it got me thinking. What do you guys think ever about the Make-A-Wish requests that were vetoed?
Oh no.
Because we never hear about
No,
those.
you don't. You sure don't.
We never hear about
Don't
those.
hear about the dreams not coming true for that person who's still gonna die.
Well,
They're gonna do it, baby.
well, I meant
We got time.
I meant more like if it
I'm
was
just doing one for right now and see how that works with me.
Well, I meant more like
I'm a child. I can't smoke a lot.
no, I meant more like if it's a weird request. Like they ask for something like inappropriate with a celebrity, and you're like, no, like Jimmy, you can't like see
Yeah.
Taylor Swift's tits.
Maybe they get him to come up with like a top 5
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I feel like that would be a way to do it.
like
Not like, no, we can't do that.
yeah.
Okay, you're done. On to the next. Like,
Well, that's the other thing.
like we let him brainstorm a little bit.
Just
you know,
like some
maybe
young, some young kids like I just really want to see LeBron James's dick. And you're just like we can't do that, Timmy. We can't make LeBron show you his dick.
Well, but like that was the other half of the concept that like I just got really hyper focused on John Cena fucking kids because I thought that was hilarious. But the other half of the concept is like, can they ask Jennifer White to come fuck him? What if the kid's 13? He's gonna die in a month. Never
That's
lost his
not-
virginity.
You can't veto the
That kid
age of
deserves a
consent for like, I don't know, man.
That's a travesty. They should be able to just for that kid. Let
Right.
him fuck an adult woman. He's dying.
Is
soon.
it more messed up that I'm like, find him a 13-year-old?
Yeah.
What are these kid hookers when we need
She's
them?
like, what would Epstein do? I gotta channel my inner Epstein on this one.
Oh my god, I might steal that for this. I might steal what
Take
would
it.
Epstein do.
Take it, Davey.
Yeah, I'll do my little baby guy again, silly.
Yeah, we are getting old. That's how you know we're getting old is when it's, or me and Dave anyway, where it's just like fucking, you look at the bowl and it's like, should I take another one?
You're only 2 years older than me.
But you look so much younger though.
We've established that you look the oldest of all of us.
Oh, come on, dude. Obviously. If you guys said that I didn't, I would be like offended. Like, you guys are being too nice now. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not sure if I can believe anything you guys say.
Italian people, dude, they're like the Osage. They don't fucking, we don't age well, dude. I'm 33, I have crow's feet and wrinkle lines and shit. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, I have a
kind of
little
shit
bit
is
too.
that?
You just need a good, like, I don't know, like niacinamide cream or
It's
something.
bullshit.
Do you think
Don't
that
ever be
fucking-
Italian. That's the
This
moral.
goofy stash makes me look older or younger?
I think the color of it makes you look less old
Weird.
because it has a blondish hue.
I was gonna say,
It's fucking red. It's bright red.
But like from a distance, you can't. Even
I was
see
gonna
that.
say older, but I think
Yeah.
it makes you look like it's like healthy looking.
Interesting.
Just like maybe just because I'm like a loser barber, but like the contrast of the hair to the skin makes it stand out more, which makes you look older. The fact that your facial hair is closer to the color of your skin than like mine is dark and my skin's light, it's more of a gap in between the two. You know what I mean? It makes you look older.
Interesting.
From 80 feet away, bro, I can't even see your facial hair because it's so close to your skin color.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah, no, I fucking am a weird human being because I have like medium brown hair, but fucking bright red facial hair. I blame my father.
That's what I do for everything.
I've always kind of liked that.
Fuck my dad. It's his fucking fault.
Yeah.
For the wrinkles on my face, same deal.
He just wanted to come, you know what I mean? Fucking
Pull out game wasn't good that day. Thanks, Pops, you jerk.
I will say a very funny thing that my dad did, although I don't think it was meant to be funny at the time. I think my dad was just being real big brained about it. It was right after I was born. I was the second kid. My dad was like, "So I should make that appointment to get a vasectomy?" As my mom is like minutes after her. Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, fuck, I never want to do this again."
I'm sure, dude.
And he was like, "Okay, well, let's go ahead and make that appointment." Now, wild thing, it's 5 years after I was born, my little sister was born, which means my little sister is a miracle baby. She's one of like, I think it's like some insanely small percentage that you can ever still get pregnant post vasectomy. It's like really, really, really small.
Damn.
It's almost as small as like somebody getting pregnant from like while there's a condom being used.
Oh no shit.
It's like the same level of like not likely. So they call her their little miracle now. And to be fair, she was the favorite child for most of our lives. So.
Damn. Those fucking Borowski bullets are fucking hollow points, baby. You can't stop can't stop those if you try, dude.
I mean, he went back and got checked again, and they were like, "Nope, you're sterile." I don't know.
You had one swimmer, and this was it.
Yeah.
You had one Michael Phelps. You had one swimmer. You had one swimmer, and it happened to be Michael Phelps. So here you are. You have a daughter. Oh, that's
I think I'm okay with that for a while. Probably to the end of the pod. I'm gonna get really stoned now. But it's cool. We're doing a fucking comedy pod. We've got all the pressing shit. Well, most of the pressing shit right out of the way in the front of the podcast. Talking about our open mic status and also fucking one of the sadder movies I've watched in recent memory.
Yeah, that shit was depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, speaking of depressing, can we do goofy and depressing? Because what I've been thinking about is like, it's not one bit, and you saw it, I don't know if you were there, but I sort of organized all of my like self-harm, suicide, murder, just like
I really like that new
sad
bit you're
girl into like one chunk, because usually I kind of break them up where I'll do a couple next to each other, but like I just did the whole thing and it really did well. It did
4
really
minutes
well.
of just like suicide.
And it made it so I could have some tags between like
It all
so,
connects
yeah.
now.
Yeah. What were you gonna?
That's just progression, homie. That's dope.
No, I thought that was maybe your best set I've ever seen.
Cool. Okay.
Next to your set at the Spot, which was really good, just because the audience was right. It's all comics; they were there to laugh. No, I really like your new joke about like, if you ever wanted to kill someone,
Oh yeah.
if you ever wanted to kill yourself, let's do a meet and greet. Let's make some dreams come true.
Yeah.
People
like that one.
It's good. It's good. It's
like,
a funny
it's
concept.
almost crowd work. Like I can make it be like.
You kind of play with the crowd.
Yeah, especially like when I followed. I don't know. It came kind of naturally when I followed like a suicide bit with like. Any of you guys ever like fantasize about killing yourself?
It's like, have you ever heard of you scratch your back, I'll scratch mine? It's like, you cut my wrist, I'll cut yours.
Well, also you could like by proxy commit suicide in some very creative and interesting ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll be in a clown suit, and then you come up and hit me one good time in the back of the head with an axe. That's gonna make the news.
Get murdered. Yeah.
You said that so nonchalant. That was funny as hell.
That's gonna make the
Your
news.
delivery of that was funny. It sounded like it was really happening. That was legitimate. I was like picturing it.
I genuinely thought that would be a really funny way to die for most of my life. I'm like, what if I was dressed like a clown and I got murdered with an axe?
That's so weird.
It seems like a fun way to go.
weird.
I don't know. Because even as it's happening, you had to be like, I'm getting killed as a clown right now. That's pretty fucking funny.
Like after I'm dead, you can still honk my nose.
But it'd be sad honk.
I don't know why. That just always brings me joy when I think about it.
He's dead, but like you touch his flower in his pocket and it squirts you in the eye.
I don't know why, man. I find it very funny.
You're like, what's that in his mouth? Even though he's dead, and you pull it, and it just keeps coming. He's dead, but it just keeps coming.
Oh my god, clown autopsy.
Clown autopsy.
Sketch number 2 that we thought of
my
today.
fucking god, dude.
Holy, this is like SNL up in here, in living color. No, that's not your guy's hair, pun intended. None of that.
No, dude, that clown autopsy is a fucking hilarious
It's
idea
also kind
for
of a
sketch.
sweet like metal name.
Clown autopsy.
Oh shit! And honestly, like a couple different genres, probably, right?
Yeah.
Like a punk band with that name, I would jam too. Hard as fuck.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Clown autopsy. That could even be like a fucking Diet Work style fucking rap group.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Clown Autopsy.
Oh, you can go a lot of directions with that.
Yeah.
They all like death. If you think about it, all those genres, there's like either like a sarcastic reference to death is okay, or some it's just like more of a literal. You know what I mean? Death metal. There's even death in the title sometimes.
Name. Yeah.
They're not, hiding how they really feel, and you gotta respect that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that about it. I do appreciate that about it.
Speaking of music, have you been doing the musical shit too? I know you dabble in the musical arts as well.
I mean, we really need a drummer. Is our big thing. It's hard to have a fucking metalcore band without a drummer, because it's like the backbone of the whole thing. We did jam with Stevie playing her very first time ever playing on a drum kit, and
oh shit,
it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. I did not know it.
I don't know if she's ready to be a metalcore drummer.
I'm certainly not.
But she's not bad. It was her first time ever playing on a kit, and she was immediately better than me. I played on the kits dozens of times. So it just sucked.
Some people just pick up percussion type shit easy. Some people are like kind of naturals at percussion type shit.
Well, I mean, she played like classically trained music stuff for her whole life, so.
Not my whole life anymore.
For most of her life.
I don't know. I'm getting old. I gotta pick it back up.
Yeah, we're in our 30s now. Isn't it cool? Isn't it way cooler than your 20s?
I don't know. In a way, it is, right? In a way, it is. Yeah.
I gotta see, man. I'm not even a year in. I can't. I don't want to set my expectations.
Technically,
too high,
you're over a year in. You're 31 and change. You're coming up on 32.
Okay, well, I'm 31 and still can't do math, so.
I mean, I'm so bad at math too, so just know you're not alone on that one, dude. I don't know if I've ever done better than like a C on a math course in my life.
Oh, wow, really?
Like C is like where I've peaked math-wise.
Oh, I used to get straight A's in math, man.
God bless you, dude.
I did until pre-cal, which I did not understand, and all of my friends were too smart to work on stuff with me, and all of the teachers assumed that I was as smart as my friends. So I was kind of drowning the whole semester. Up through, algebra, statistics, I'm solid.
So that's fair. I mean, to be fair, my dad is an electrical engineer.
Oh, okay.
So, well, I mean, he's a pastor now who writes computer code as a day job because it's flexible, but he has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. He literally was a rocket scientist when I was a kid.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, his mouth would water if you said the word calculus. He was like, oh.
It's the opposite effect for me. I just get depressed and anxious. Dude, seriously, I'm not even kidding. You said pre-calc too, and my fucking got tense.
Yeah.
That shit makes me nervous.
Feel your butthole tighten. Yeah.
No, you felt it, right? The couch moved.
No, it's interesting because I probably could have done that stuff because I have a head for it. I just don't care about it, and I never really tried hard in subjects I didn't give a shit about. But math was just always. It always just made sense to my brain that I'd just be like, oh, this is logical.
What if you could figure out how to be... I'm this is real out there, but maybe you'll catch on and no. But, you could figure out how... the theoretical physics of comedy. Or,
I mean, I
abstract
approach...
mathematics.
I mean, I approach my comedy style very mathematically and very lyrically. I count the laughs I get per minute. And that's if I'm 6 or above, it's a good set. If I hit 9, I can get to 9 laughs in a minute sometimes. That's on fire. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the only other comic
it's counting.
Well, yeah, it's shooting for
timing.
A certain result.
Yeah.
And timing and whatnot, and so that's counting too. Timing, I'll count for a second, 2, 3, punchline. I'll give myself those little beats. And Lucas McCreary is, I think, the only other comic in the scene that I've seen get 9 laughs in a minute. And I'm like, that's fucking good, dude.
You have to have short jokes, right?
He doesn't. He's fucking insane.
A ton of punches. There's a ton of punches.
Yeah. Where he'll do a sentence, a punch, and it's the same bit, but he's just quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he did 5 minutes at the Velveeta Anniversary show, I could tell that he kind of condensed like a 7-minute bit into a 5-minute bit because it was quick. It was so fast, and he was getting laughs at every single punch, and I was just like, "Fuck, he's firing on all cylinders right now." That's incredible. Most other comics in the scene, even if they're sort of more one-linery kind of comics, like Feng Chao, or
Who the fuck is Feng Chao?
you've never read Feng Chao?
Feng Chao?
He's
like the
he has
Asian
glasses.
Anthony
He usually
Jeselnik.
wears like a baseball cap.
Oh, I'm sure I've
he
seen
does
him.
it with
Okay.
mics.
Oh, okay. I've
He's got
seen
a pretty
Feng
thick
Chao.
accent.
Okay.
He holds his mic like does really dry endings to his jokes.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Okay.
Sometimes I'm scared to talk to women. Sometimes I'm like, "You're gonna be my fucking wife."
That's a pretty good impression, dude. Holy shit, man.
And he's great. And I don't, he doesn't like being called the Asian Anthony Jeselnik, so I'm sorry for him.
Well, he's one of like 3 Asian people in the scene too, so I should have known. They're like so smart. I feel like they usually just like get dope
Christian.
jobs. They just get dope jobs instead of comedy. They're like rocket scientists. Comedy. They're like,
Yeah, fair enough.
they're just freaking smart people. That's not even insulting. That's a good stereotype, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't just
other
fucking-
than the
they're too
penis
bright
thing,
for.
they are the kind of
I'm
the
sure
best
there's
ones.
some dummies.
Yeah, I mean, you got
Gotta
Bobby
be-
Lee and shit.
gotta-
There's Bobby Lee's of the world out there. This is true.
He's a
But he's,
strange
he's
dude,
so
man.
wildly successful.
Yeah,
Like,
then you got the Ken Jongs and the Hans Kims who are wicked smart, but they still do comedy anyway.
Yeah.
Hans
can't
is
be
smart
that
as
smart
fuck.
then.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, oh,
Hey.
a little
There it
subtle
is.
zinger there.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But yeah, Ken Jong's a fucking doctor and a comedian. That's wild. Do you know that?
I didn't know he was a doctor, but I knew
Doctor
he was
for
a
real.
comedian.
Has a doctorate, has done doctor shit. I don't know what the terminology is. but
Ronnie
he's
Chang.
done doctor stuff.
Ronnie Chang is actually
Doctor
really
do
fucking
doctor
good too,
stuff.
man, and he's got a very particular style. It's angry Asian man is the only way I can describe it, but I don't know. Have you watched any of Ronnie Chang stuff?
I think I've seen some Ronnie Chang.
There's an Asian comic Destroys America is a phenomenal special from
Yeah.
him. Right? The whole time he's just like, "I fucking hate all of you. But I'm Asian, so I fucking do this shit 7 days a week like an insane person. I do 15 sets a night. I fucking work for this shit, and I hate it, and I'm mad." And you're just like, you're hilarious, but like, goddamn, you seem miserable.
I worry about your health. You're funny, but I worry about your fucking pulmonary health.
Yeah, he's like, "My wife makes me go to dinner parties, and I hate it. Fuck dinner parties. They're bullshit. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to be alone." And it's like, why a comic then? I don't understand.
But that's just so relatable. People in the crowd's dicks get hard as soon as male and female, all dicks are getting hard in the crowd. I hear. Feel like I hate my job too. Oh my god! I want to tweet about how me and him both hate our jobs.
Wild is I find that like probably 60 to 70% of comics don't really like people and prefer to be alone most of the time.
I think we talked about this last pop, but my theory is, and it's bullshit because it's like half true. It's a half true theory at best, maybe 38% true. Let's be honest. But not all comics, but there's a good portion of comics that fit into two types mentally, let's say,
Okay.
socially. In my opinion, a lot of them fit into. Not all of them. There's always wild cards and curveballs and shit. Like I said,
For sure.
exceptions to every rule. But autistic or ADHD. And then there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, B, C, D, E, F. But those are two that you can see a lot of comics fall into those two. I'm definitely ADHD. I
Yes.
talk so much, people are like, "Is he okay? Like, is this all an act? Is he really empty inside?"
Stevie's autistic. So.
Yes, a lot of comics are. Dude, tell me.
Yeah, you
But-
talk a lot about that. For
Tell me if you
somebody.
guys have experienced this awkward sex.
You.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's okay. I was trailing off.
Because there's such an abundance of these autistic comics, tell me you guys haven't experienced this at least once. You see a comic have a good set, you don't know they're the autistic type. After the set, you go up to them, you give them props, and it's like the most awkward interaction of your entire life. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
A couple different people, I'm like, "Good set, dude," and they look to you like,
and they're like not even looking at you and give you like a limp bound, and it's just so uncomfortable. It's like how you're even thinking like how could you possibly make a 6-second interaction this uncomfortable? But they're just like, they just don't know how to interact, a lot of these people.
Yes.
Yes. I'm the guy that I look you in the eye and I'm like, dude, that was a great set. I had a half chub.
Yeah, fucking half chub, man, great set.
Half chub whole set. You know what I mean?
Dude, I don't think I'm autistic or ADHD.
That's what I'm saying. There's variances to it, but I feel like a lot of comics do fall into that.
Oh, psychos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the
insane people. There's insane people as well.
Yeah, that's the one I fall into for sure. Autistic, ADHD, could have been a serial killer. Like, those are the 3 categories, really.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, you'll just get like a bubbly stoner girl.
Yeah.
Like Jordan, that chick Jordan.
But she's autistic.
Oh, she's got ADHD too.
I think she's autistic.
So they balance each other out. You're like, she seems pretty normal.
She does a whole bit about how she has to drink espresso to get any effect from caffeine. So she drinks espresso and smokes weed, and it's like
you were essentially like, who has good eyesight? Ray Charles. That's essentially what you said metaphorically.
Let me hit your vape, dog.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So this is I'm kind of in a weird situation. So my DoorDash food is outside. I don't know if I should go out and get it or if it's
go grab it.
Rude. Is that rude?
No, yeah, you should definitely let your food get super cold and gross.
Or we can just hang you this back and we can just do another little.
The momentum's rolling now. It's like, am I gonna kill the momentum because the Wingstop? It's not even that nice of a place to get food from to kill the momentum.
We can put it right back on just as you're eating, and we only ask you questions, so you have to
about the wings.
Yeah, we're gonna get really intense about it, but you have to keep eating. You're not allowed to stop eating.
We should do.
But you have to figure out how to keep the podcast going.
Dude,
I'm gonna make an executive decision and be like,
we'll be right back. Hell yeah. When the 3 of us get each shit, man.
And we're back.
I'm sure it's everywhere.
It's cool. It'll be part of the stage makeup for your character in this segment of the podcast.
Well, once we're huge, they'll be like, oh yeah, the wing sauce on Anthony's face episode. I remember that, dude.
Yeah, we know the real fans.
Yeah. I hate this episode is now just wing sauce. That's for sure what it's going to be called forever now.
Well, look at this schnoz. Like, some shit gets on this. You know what I mean? When you see this nose on a person, you're like, that guy gets shit on his nose, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's like Ari Shafir, It's like, he's a Jew.
Oh, yeah. People think I'm a Jew, dude. I get that all the time.
Really?
I had a homeless guy the other day. It was actually pretty funny. He asked me for money. This is a true story. It sounds like I made it up. Somebody accused me of making it up. It's actually true. Guy asked me for money. I told him I couldn't. And he just looked pissed. And he goes, you know what? I was like, what, dude? And he goes, you look like what happens when a Jew fucks a Palestinian with Down syndrome. That's what he said to me. I just laughed. I thought it was fucking funny. I was like, amazing. And it's kind of nailed it, right? I was like impressed. I want to give him a pound. He wasn't pleased with me. I don't think he would have done it. But I kept walking, like chuckling, dude. Those fuckers,
amazing.
They're getting creative. The other day,
too. That was quite a roast.
Not bad, right? The other day, I was walking with a fellow Italian-looking dude. He had a bright green hoodie on, and I had a bright red hoodie on. And we were walking down the street, and this homeless person was just like, look, it's Mario and Luigi. And I was fucking dying. Like, these homeless are fucking up in their material, dude. It's all the comics in town.
The open mics, yeah.
There's so many fucking trying
to break into the open mic scene, yeah.
Yeah, Austin's so over-flooded with comics that
there's a couple.
Are getting funny. That's where we're at.
Yeah, there's a couple that I'm like, I think that guy's homeless. And then they get up on stage and do a set, and I'm like, but they're also kind of funny.
Yeah.
Maybe homeless, but they got jokes.
Well, they say the key to comedy is being observational. You can't be more observational than somebody who lives outside.
Yeah, you're looking at stuff
constantly
all the time.
Things to observe. 100% of the time, 365. You have
no
things
walls
to
to box in this perspective.
Zero walls. If you are domestically challenged, you have like an advantage. You have an advantage in the biz.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, how many fucking comics moved to this town to be homeless or live in their car? And they're not crushing it, We're just talking about Hans.
Sure. Yeah, maybe that guy, in a couple of years is going to be like touring.
That. Next big thing, dude. And he's going to tell the story of me.
First time Anthony got recognition in the Austin scene
Finally.
was from a homeless guy that roasted him.
Yeah, the said it looked retarded and Palestinian and Jewish. All in one comment. One comment, all three. You don't get that everywhere.
Italian.
That's pretty fucking phenomenal. That is just sort of
I'm just
Italian.
kidding.
Well, Italians are mutts, dude. If we were dogs, we'd be mutts. Seriously. Because people just, it's all different cultures, like, jammed into one fucking weird boot-shaped country. You know?
Well, they would all have curly dark hair though. So.
But, like, there's probably a little Muslim in there somewhere. There's probably a little Spanish in there
Moors.
somewhere. No,
Or
a little
something.
African.
Back when they called them Moors.
The part of Italy that's close to Africa, they're all super dark.
Yeah.
Right? Is this quainty dink? Are they fucking African people? I think African people are pretty.
Have you ever seen the movie True Romance?
Dude, I'm fucking African right here in front of you guys. You know what I'm saying? make this podcast into an OnlyFans real quick.
Jesus fucking
Oh,
Christ.
man, you
like-
might be able to find one. Just get order something else from Uber and snag them.
Fair enough. Oh! You seem like I was the sick one. She's got fucking plans, dude. She fucking thought this out. She's like, they're usually African, Anthony. Just grab one of them. You'll be good.
Not usually, but there are a lot of Lyft drivers.
100%. You see the names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like,
You
that's
know,
just a sound.
I usually feel
That's
very
not a
safe.
name, that's a
with-
sound.
when I'm
Yeah.
driving.
Like 8 syllables and it's only 4 letters? Like, how does he do that?
Bim, boom, 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 boom.
They have
Are
nicer
you
cars
kidding?
than me, man. I don't know.
True that.
Yeah. It's just, it's just observational comedy. That's all that is.
100%. And I feel like
Observating.
the biggest countries, too, probably like fuck the most. Think about like African's probably like the most spread. One of them, right? African and like Russian. There's so fucking many of them.
Yeah.
Asian. Like everybody probably has like a little bit, excuse me, one of those.
Well,
Right? Like most people are probably like have some kind of African, some kind of Asian, or some kind of like well, Russia's like in Europe and Asia, so who the fuck really knows what to call that? But
well, I will say that if that this is actually a true fact. If you put the population of China in a single file line because of their reproduction rates, the line would never stop.
no shit,
Yeah.
it's crazy,
Isn't that
man.
wild?
It's just like it's for a long. Wow. Okay.
Because they reproduce.
That's
There's so many of them, and they reproduce at such a rate that there's never not a new Chinese baby being born.
Damn. What a bummer it is though that the nationality that fucks the most has the smallest private parts. Like that's a tough break, dude. Like the people having the most sex are having the most mediocre sex. Like that sucks, dude.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
bet they figure it out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, they're the one that make all the sex toys, so.
They're awesome. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Asian hate. I don't believe in Asian hate, folks. I was kidding.
Not hate, but you can make fun of anybody.
Yes.
Um,
Well said.
It's because it's goofs. No, it is distracting me now that we have a podcast on mute while we're doing a podcast. It
It's
is.
an inspiration.
It is, dude.
It's too meta.
Especially when it's Mark the Goat, dude. Aren't you guys hard? Am I the only one hard right now?
I think
Mark-
so. Yeah.
When Mark Norman's on the screen, my wiener starts twitching. It's weird.
Yeah, shout out We Might Be Drunk podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
fucking love that pod.
Although I will say one of the funniest things that I ever heard be said about Sam Morril. Is that how you say his name?
You nailed it.
Okay.
You nailed it, Maril.
Is that he's like a city hick. You know how like people from the country, they go to a big city, they don't know how to fucking act.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what the fuck? He's like that, but from New York.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if he's not in New York, he's like, well, how the fuck?
That's what I heard, yeah.
What do I even do here? Like,
Yeah, he
there's
doesn't
not
have a car.
pizza at 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't
Yeah.
drive?
He doesn't
Like,
drive, yeah. He doesn't even drive. He's like a real city guy.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to have a car. I want to be a real city guy, but I'm fucking in Austin, Texas.
No trains, man.
No trains. One
train.
sad little baby train.
The only trains getting run are in the bathrooms at the gay bars here. That's it. That's it. Glory holes, and that's about it, folks.
No, it's wild, man. Do we want to transfer into deep boys, or we want to do goofs for a little bit longer? Kind of leaning goofs. I'm having fun with the goofs.
Goose.
Goofs are kind of my forte. I mean, I'm down for
makes
some,
sense.
you know what I mean, some mosh magoshes. But I'm also, because I can't even say the word. That's how fucked up and sarcastic I am. I tried to say emotions and I said emotion magoshes or something. I don't even remember what it was.
Emotion gosh.
I like it.
It's like when you guys ever see Knocked Up?
Yeah, of course.
Remember when they don't want to say abortion, so he says shmishmortion? Because it's just such an awful word. That's how I am with emotions. I'm like, shmishmotions.
Is that bull still kicking?
Oh, maybe. If not, we can make it kick. Fuck yeah.
I might dabble again.
Hell yeah, dude. Weed's the dopest dope, Dave. I love the alliteration I just threw out.
Yeah,
It's the dopest dope, Dave.
I really like that.
I mean, in my experience, heroin is the dopest dope.
Oh.
But it like ruin your life and shit. It's
Yes.
so good.
That's
Brown
not very
devil.
dope.
The brown devil.
That sounds racist, but I'm talking about heroin. So nobody get offended. It'd be funny if somebody stood up for heroin in the comments. They're like, dude, that's fucked
I can't
up.
believe you talk about.
That's prejudice towards heroin, dude.
Leave in the comments how much you love heroin.
I got an interesting subject for us to talk about.
Sure.
If you guys are into it. If not, don't be afraid to veto it. Somebody told me I might have mentioned this in the last pod. Fuck.
Well,
Fuck it down.
throw it
Let's
out.
see.
See what-
You never know.
Material.
Maybe we're rehashing. Maybe that's what we'll call this segment. Have you guys heard people say that the phrase female is now derogatory?
Yes.
No. What?
Somebody told me that on a date. It's the only time I ever heard it in my entire life. And she was kind of like, I don't know what, like,
Well, so like actress or the term et, like, you know, like juggalette, for instance. If you trace it back to root words in Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, like Latin, a lot of these like languages are which are sort of where the
maybe tap it off.
Let's see. Let me get my thought out. A lot of that stuff, so like actress meant lesser actor because only men acted, and you would just get a eunuch to play a lady, and those would be actresses.
That's crazy.
So what it meant was lesser than. It was like there was a connotation to it that is a little like superior, like a little bit more misogynistic.
I didn't know that. Damn.
But it's a root thing with language. So feminine is versus masculine. I don't think, and I could be wrong. I'm a fucking moron. That necessarily has the connotation. I think it just has the connotation to your right and left side of your brain.
I think I can do some etymological research before the next pod on some of this stuff if we want to revisit it also.
Obviously, the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, just say etymological. I got fucking amped up. I just got a second wind after you dropped the etymological. Holy shit. Fired up.
Yeah, I think that's close to beat, but I'm okay for right now. So.
Yeah, like I said, if you ever want to tap it off, just throw some shizzle on there.
I was gonna say, just let me know when we want to kick it up again,
Okay.
and I'm fine with that. But so yeah, so there is I've heard of this. It's very much sort of fourth or fifth stage feminism, and a lot of like the far left that are trying to remove the term female from being used at all.
I don't understand. Okay, so
Which is weird and interesting.
What is the alternative that they want? Because is it that it has male in it? Because woman also has man in it, and I don't personally. I mean, do you know like the why of what their why is?
It's supposedly within even language subjugating women.
Okay,
Because it's
I don't.
Whoa, man. That
I don't
that
like
term
that.
is like the base term.
Unless
is
they can get a
masculine.
better word going, maybe if it's cool, I'd be into that. But it's so deeply rooted. Like if you just take it away and there's an absence of anything, I feel like that is speaking to like you're sort of cutting yourself down and like this because there's this like fragility to that I don't like, that I don't feel as a woman, as a female human person. Like I don't want to not have my labels. Like
No,
because I feel like that's somebody else is getting offended by that. But they're taking it away from me. That's like my agency with that.
Well, and I would
if there's just an
definitely
absence of
agree
anything,
with
then
your side of it.
that's
more,
like an identity erasure almost. If there's not a suitable substitute, which Did they offer any alternatives in the article?
I didn't particularly like it when they made us
like,
start having to call ourselves maps either. You know, I thought pedophile was way cool. That's my identity. But no, I do. I see that side of it a lot, and I think that it's such a fringe sect of like, you know, what people would consider themselves feminist or liberal, that are going to that extreme on that level that they want to erase the word female, but they also want to erase the word male too. Like that's part of it. So and they don't want it to be a masculine based connotation for being a human.
I can kind of understand that, and I will say, like, I think it's unfortunate that a lot of our lexicon has, the way that vocabulary is now, is built on a base of, you know, patriarchal, misogynistic societies, because those were the ones who were allowed to write, those were the ones, you know, who were coming up with a lot of the words or whatever.
Right.
I think that maybe is a little bit unfortunate, but I don't think that you can just, like, go to the bottom of the pyramid and, like, start pulling out a bunch of blocks without something else to put in there. And you can't really, like, it's very rare that you can just erase words. Like, you can't, if you make it societally unacceptable to say, it's not, even then it's not going to erase it, it's going to change it. It's going to change how it's used and who it's said by.
Right.
But, like, it's not going to go away. That's a level of censorship that just is unrealistic.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't know.
I think it comes down to your tone with like what people get offended by. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
well,
seriously.
yeah,
like if you're like, you know, I'm a male and
Yeah,
she's a
if you use
female,
the
nobody's mad. But if you're like a
Oh,
fucking
these
female,
females,
it's
yeah.
in the head. You throw a
There's-
fucking head
yeah.
whack. You know what I mean? Anything. You
I could
say
do
this-
without us, like, saying it in that way.
You
Yeah,
could be like, I
erase
fucking
that.
love you,
So
mom.
just
But
don't
if you
let
throw
people-
one of these in there, people are like, oh, you know what I mean? You throw a little head, a little fucking.
Yeah, it's all about
you
the
spice
tone.
it up
You
a
know,
little bit.
yeah.
people-
You use the soft day, everyone's fine with it. It's the hard R that no one likes, you know.
I mean, no one. Some people-
Well, that's one of those.
When in Texas.
That's actually interesting.
Not all hate it down here. In Austin, they hate it, which is good, but you know what I mean.
Well, I'm just doing a bit, but
No, I know.
no, I think like the way that some dudes say, oh, I mean, but she a female though, you know, it's like, that kind of like that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, she's a female human. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think.
No, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Sounds like you're dating people a little too woke for you, bud.
Oh, Christ. This gal was different, dude. She was different, man. She was a character.
Let's hear more about the state.
Oh, God. Well, she was bi, but, like, more lesbian than straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care, but I was just like, I was almost kind of confused as to why she wanted to go on the date. But I was like, all right, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And ironically, we went to Velvet Taco. I didn't even plan that. I didn't even plan that. It just happened to be a Velvet Taco. She was a nice gal and shit, but it was just, she was wicked sweaty, too. She wasn't even fat.
Just
But she
like,
was wicked sweaty. She was, you don't even want it to be a turn off because it makes you feel shallow, but it's like, yo, this gal's moist. I'm not talking about the good kind. You
she's
know what I
probably
mean?
got a wet plastic bag.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, but it was just I didn't want to even see that. I saw so much other moisture that I never even wanted to see that type of moisture. You could have wrung this broad's fucking sleeves out. It was nasty, man. And she was just like too woke for me. I'm a type of person, like, I think everybody should, like, have fun and do what they want. I don't judge anybody, but I might make a joke that might seem like I don't want that.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I offend people at parties constantly.
Oh, that's my, like, go-to. I'm that guy. In circles. It's like, oh, the offender.
I've lost friends over a bad joke. Like, and I'm like, I was just goofing. This is a joke. And they're like, I think you're a terrible person, Dave, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Dude, that gives me another idea for a sketch, dude. You guys know the Avengers. We can have another sketch where we dress like superheroes and we're the Offenders.
The Offenders.
And we just pick up people to be like background characters and shit, and we just pop into parties and offend people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got this kind of dip, like for tips and shit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What a
It's like
fucking
dressed up as like
pussy.
Superman shit though. Just be assholes.
Oh, you got just normal ranch? Fucking gay.
Oh, store brand soda? No big deal.
That's incredible.
Dude, we're coming up with fucking ideas. You get 3 comedic geniuses in one room and fucking gems just start popping up with
I mean, well, we're definitely humble though, for sure.
100%. At least I am. I gotta be good at something.
No one's humbler.
I gotta be good at something.
I've never met a more
It's the
humble
one thing I'm good at.
in my fucking life. No, that's really fucking funny. Interesting topic too, man. I like that.
I'm good at that, pulling random topics out.
There was something
I think so.
There was something I was thinking about the other day. You guys brainstorm or throw something out whenever, but I was thinking about something the other day. I'm trying to fucking remember what it was. It was just like it's really goofy topic or conversational thing.
Okay.
Like, because there's... I'm trying to remember what... I can't fucking remember.
Oh, okay. This is a good segment.
That happens. That's
going
Killer
really
radio
well.
right now, yeah.
That happens, dude. This fucking
Killer
happens.
radio.
Stay with us. It'll be something good.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Throw some out then. Jesus
And
Christ.
you don't even smoke weed, that's the funny part. You know what I mean? Like, my short-term memory is shot, but you fucking don't even smoke weed, yours is shot. So it's like,
I dabble. I smoke weed like a fucking parent. Like, I keep it at the house, just if I'm feeling crazy.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm off tomorrow morning? I might pack a bowl, take 2 hits, and play video games for 5 hours. Whoa. That's me getting wild.
I feel
you
like
know?
parents love gummies. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
That's the parent way
You
now.
can't smell gummies.
Yes, it's
And
good
it,
to...
you know, less
My mom
suspicious.
takes gummies
Yeah.
now, which is very funny to me.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, but she'll take like 5 milligrams and go to bed.
Yeah.
Wild.
It was because she had the fucking, was it parotitis?
Sounds
Periphaltitis or whatever?
Doesn't sound good.
I
Well,
can't remember.
it's literally a pain in the ass. You have a pear-shaped muscle in your ass muscles that it got inflamed and it has all these nerve endings in it. So my mom literally just had the medical pain in the ass disease.
Shit.
Yeah. And like, so she had to take care of it for like 6 months, but she couldn't fucking like walk and shit. Now she's like swimming 3 times a week and like going back to CrossFit. She's fine now. And she's just got like these cushions to sit on that have a hole in the middle that like don't put pressure on that.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, she literally just had a pain in the ass for 6 months.
Literally, dude. Fuck, man. I don't look at that expression the same now. I'm gonna feel bad for your mother every time I use that expression now. Like, oh, dude.
I mean, dude, it's fucking really funny though that like she was like, it's a manifestation of my life.
She should have made a whole bunch of jokes about that. She should have been like, you used to be my pain in the ass, Dave. Now I have a real one.
Yes, yeah. I mean, she said that to me almost exactly.
Okay.
She was running bits by me for like when she like would preach on Sundays and stuff about it, and it just like all of them were cracking me up. And she was like, you know, she's like, my day job is I run like I'm a counselor at a rehab. So like my life is a pain in the ass, and it just manifested physically.
Yeah, it just happened.
Just like I run fucking meetings with 9 to 12 fucking angry drug addicts who are stuck in rehab every day. Well, it's a pain in the ass. They're a pain in my ass. They're a fucking manifestation of the pain in my ass. They're the reason I have this pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's just like, it used to be you, Dave, but now it's the fucking drug addicts that are still wanting to go use that I have to deal with all the time.
Maybe like that's every gay dude's real problem. They think it's all the wieners, but it's really just that. What do you think? Does that hold water, guys, or no?
What the fuck? What has happened here? This is falling off the rails. Oh, no, I love it.
You can't let the moron take the mic, dude. That's a rule. That's a rule. The smarts have to keep the order, and the idiot just like squeezes them in every once in a while.
Oh,
Hey, now I'm doing it by accident.
oops.
It's a legitimate thing. Yeah, it's parenthetitis or some shit. It's something with the word pear, because it's like the Paris whatever the fuck, Paris whatever, I don't know. It's a pear-shaped thing in your ass.
That's
all right.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Wow. Once you said pear-shaped thing in your ass, like made it real for me. I was like, holy fuck, dude. Normal shaped things in your ass, brutal. Pear shaped things in your ass, oh my god, that's gotta be horrendous. Your mom's a saint. My mother's a fucking saint, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean she's awesome, but the fact that she like the whole time found the funny in it, I thought was really cool. Like the whole time she'd just be like, "Damn, I came up with a new pain in my ass joke. Can I run it by you?" And I'm like, "Cool, yeah. You want to hear my joke about the Gaza Strip?" And she was like, "Not really." Not cool. I'm gonna tell it to you anyway, Mom. So. But it's funny now that it's weird. I feel like I'm strangely now in my mid-30s, finally the favorite child.
Damn, took 35 years. Holy shit!
I was the least favorite child for most of my life. My older sister, she was always the golden child. She always like got great grades, held down jobs, was not super crazy rebellious because I was already doing all that shit. And then my little sister was the nice one. She was the nice one. She was also, smart and did well in school and stuff too, and she had a little bit of like I mean, she never really left her emo goth phase, but she had like a little dark period. But compared to me, it was fine. Nothing for my parents. They were like, "Oh yeah, you want to listen to Evanescence and dye your hair? That's fine." You know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say, you the rebellious type? No.
Yeah, I was the fucking black sheep of the family for the longest time. But now I'm like stable and I'm like following an interesting career path, which is strangely sort of similar and parallel to my parents being pastors, because they can like run bits by me and I like do public speaking. It's just a slightly different way, and they do too. So like, there's like this weird kinship now that has happened.
That is super interesting.
And also like I'm the one that'll hang out and drink with them and talk to them about shit, and like not be scared to be myself or cuss or whatever the fuck around. I'm a big goofball.
That's awesome.
So now I'm like, they're like Dave's like our drinking buddy. That we can run jokes by, and it's so weird and interesting that like it's come full circle, and now like they'll drop everything if like I'm coming to town or whatever. They're like, "Oh, absolutely, we'd love to see you," and fucking it's cool.
Well, that's really fucking nice, man.
It's weird, man. I never thought it was gonna happen like that, but my dad's probably like my best friend in the world.
Get the fuck out of here! It's so good to hear. Wow, yeah, dude. Everything comes full circle in this pod, right? You're talking about anal insertion, then you're like, my dad is my best fucking pal. Which one of your parents is funnier, your mom or your dad?
Oh, depends.
It's a toughie.
I think my mom is more naturally funny, but I think my dad is where I got my sense of humor from, if that makes sense. My dad is like quick and witty and sarcastic and dry, and my mom will just be like, "Oop, I farted," and it's like that's funny as shit and adorable, you know what I mean? But like my mom, she honestly bitches about it and she gives a shit for it. It's funny too because we poke her. Like when it's me, my dad, and my mom hanging out, we'll gang up on her so fucking quick, like because we're both like quick and witty and dark and dry. And my mom would be like, "Oh, they have chicken on the menu." My dad would be like, "Do they, honey? Is that why they wrote chicken on the menu? Is that why you came to that?" And I'd be like, "Mom, do you want to get the chicken that's on the menu? Is that how? Because you figured it out because of that, right? You just didn't have like a prophetic moment. No, but there was chicken on the menu." She'd be like, "You guys suck."
I think I'd fit in with your friend.
Do we suck? Do we suck him? Is that Mom? You think we suck? Oh no, let me get this straight. You think me and Dad, suck? Why? Like, is it because we're sarcastic, or is this because we're a pain in your ass, or do you actually have a pain in your ass?
Because I've heard that's a thing.
She'd be like, you should. My dad is probably the one that uses swear words less. He has to have like a really funny moment to, or want to make a point, or do whatever. But he doesn't really swear very much. He's always like, you can think of a smarter way to say that. But my mom will be like, "Fuck you guys."
Your mom sounds like my cup of tea. Seriously, I think I could have a beer with
She's definitely the more bubbly, people person, sanguine kind of one, for sure. Which makes her very entertaining and funny. But like her jokes are like, yeah, I got a pain in my ass. You know, my dad's jokes are like thinkers and slow burning and very sarcastic.
We should get him. You don't talk that much about you. You talk about like big family dynamics a little bit, but like, what's it like for you? Like
not hanging out with your folks, yeah.
My parents are dope as fuck.
Oh yeah.
My parents are so dope, dude. They really are. Like you don't really meet families.
Son to say that.
No, they're dope as fuck, dude. They really are. I'm so lucky because like we can talk about anything, like anything, dude. The bowel movements of what we're eating. We have the dude. Like if someone ripped ass at the table, we would all just laugh. Like there's tables in America where strict families are sitting where if you farted they would like be so offended. If we fart loud enough we'll just all start laughing. It's pretty amazing, dude. It really is.
My dad used to make me.
Yeah, seriously. We'll bond over a fart. That sums my whole family up.
Can I have a couple sips?
It's funny you say that. I want to hear more about it real quick. My dad used to make me do this thing. He used to be a little bit more tight buttoned than he is now. If I burped at the table, I had to get at least 2 out of 3 of the things that you're supposed to do when you burp. Either keep your mouth closed, cover your mouth, and say excuse me. Because I would just
You still do that. Well,
just did. Excuse me. See, I did all 3 there.
Oh, the trifecta, as they say.
So that it was my dad desperately trying to make me a more like palatable human being, which I appreciate. But it was definitely a little bit more buttoned up. But my mom's side of the family, yeah, like they make fart jokes at the table.
Yes, dude.
so pretty laid back, pretty open.
Oh yeah, both very funny. Both very funny. Both my parents are really funny people.
Cool.
Yeah.
You said you had a sister.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
hilarious
one-
too.
Just one?
Yeah, one sister, one brother.
One brother.
Yep.
Were you
both really fun? My whole fucking family's hilarious.
Were they-
My
were
aunts
they
and uncles
older or
are
younger?
Hilarious. It's awesome. Both older. I was very unplanned. It's like super unplanned.
you're the
They were good. They were all set. It's like, fuck, again. Another one. It was like they got DJ Khaled.
And he's just
They
gonna
were
be-
so mad. They heard another one and they're like, no.
and the one that's like, I'm just gonna tell these dick jokes for a living.
Yes. That's my goal, dude. That's my focus. Yeah, my other siblings are way more successful than me, 100%.
Oh,
My
yeah.
sister like has a master's and like has a good job. My brother owns a company and like it does well. And I just like fucking am a barber and I talk about jerking off a lot on stage. That's about it, dude.
I bet they're so proud.
Yeah.
My little
No,
sister runs the communications program at the University of Delaware, and my older sister is the first surgical assistant. So like, there's the surgeon that's like saving someone's life, and then there's her. Yeah, they're way more successful than me.
Welcome, dude.
However, like get a couple hours of these fucking school shooter jokes out, I may be the most wealthy. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
To be determined.
Yeah.
TBD, as they say.
Have you talked to him about your family?
My family is
Yeah.
small and sad.
They all just like gun-toting Republicans or what? Are they all gun-toting
No,
fucking Republicans that fucking chew
we're-
tobacco?
Well, my
Why, just
dad
'cause she's
does
Texan?
chew tobacco.
Knew it, sensed it, texted. There has to be
But
one of those.
he's not Texan.
Okay.
He's probably
Lived here the longest.
like California and more like, and he also spent a lot of time on the East Coast, like Massachusetts.
I was gonna say he's from Mass, right? That's where
He's
born.
come from kind of both. I can't remember where he was born because I'm a bad daughter. I think he was in California when he was younger, and then when he got older, his parents
moved to Massachusetts.
moved to Massachusetts, and he spent a lot of time there. Like went to college there and stuff.
Okay. Interesting. Both my parents went to college in Boston.
What school?
Boston University.
Okay, we're near Fenway, dude. I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Rip that Fenway Pack, as they say over there. Those fuckers.
Fucking pack. Yeah.
But
You don't have to delve into the rest of your family if you think it's too sad.
oh, it's fine, man. It's just I don't know how funny it is. I have an older half brother. he's been successful. I'm not sure how he's doing right now. Hopefully good. He does he works in film. He does audio stuff.
Nice.
And so he's gotten to do some pretty cool projects with Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay.
He's done cool interviews. Got to meet a lot of famous people. He got given some weird random drugs by Johnny Knoxville.
That sounds
hanging out at Willie Nelson's weed this big ass trailer where he gets every other celebrity way too high.
Yeah, all that checks out. That all makes sense. Holy shit.
I met Knoxville when he was really it was all very new. No, I'm sorry. You talk about your job.
That's fine. My mom's Jed. She and my dad actually are both pretty funny. My dad's also he's very dry. He's goofy, but in a very dry way. I'll give you one. I've already told you this one, but I was telling him, I'm just getting into comedy, and he was I'd like to come, see you sometime, and I was I don't know if you're gonna like my stuff, and he was well, as long as it's not porn. I was what? As long as my comedy, no, Dad, it's not porn. It's just,
although great idea.
Irreverent jokes that I don't know if you would like. It's
even though I'm making a bit about our conversation right now, my dad just said, as long as I don't do porn.
Well, I thought it'd be really funny that a chick's act is that she just gets fucked by a fuck machine, but also just does one-liners the whole time.
That's a really good OnlyFans concept. I might need you to edit that out. The whole thing. Just kidding, Dad.
Spoiler alert.
No, it's a fantastic concept for that, though. But no,
he'll just come out with something just wacky like that. When I told him I was bi and I thought he was gonna freak out, he was well, as long as you don't fuck pigs. Okay, Dad, what?
You're Dad, you mean cops or
Yeah,
the real ones? I'm so confused now.
I think he meant the
You
actual...
mean law enforcement or the creatures that oink? I don't know which one.
Probably both.
You can be a lesbian, just don't do bestiality. As long as it's not porn.
Yeah. Right. Weird. My mom had a much more goofy, friendly sense of humor. I used to try to make her laugh as hard as I could, maybe until she peed a little bit. It was great. It was so much fun.
Oh my God, we would get my mom on ones of those too.
Yeah, it was great. We'd get to the house, she'd pick me up from school, we'd get to the house, and I would just, whatever was playing on the radio, I would do, the goofiest, interpretation of it, cover of it, until, she's not acting annoyed, okay, now she's laughing, okay, now she's really losing it, crying a little bit. It's awesome.
Yeah. My dad used to call me Dave the Entertainer. He said Cedric stole my title when I was a kid, because I would do full body act outs of funny scenes from movies. I'd get my mom to the point where she was nearly crying and peeing herself.
Yeah. I used to try to do that all the time.
And my dad would fuel me. He would toss me up once.
That's good.
Out of the fucking park. Yeah, and my sisters would always sit next to my mom and be like, "You're not gonna pee, are you? You're not gonna pee?" And once she's already got the giggles, then that would just be funnier to her.
So they're turning faucets on.
We would all turn on my mom and try to make her pee her pants from laughing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's funny.
So what do your siblings do?
My brother owns an electrical company. Cool. And I worked for him for a little bit. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Don't ever work for your family if you are the type to make good life decisions. It's fucking brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
That was so terrible. So I cut years off my life by working with that fucker. He's so successful and so talented, but so 24/7 stressed. That's just a good guy to fucking avoid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was rugged as fuck. And my sister's a special ed teacher, which is crazy because she's not very patient and kind of cunty. I love her. Not very patient, kind of cunty.
She's just an asshole to all the kids.
She might hit them. It's she scares them so much they don't talk. They don't fess up because they're in pain, mentally and physically, But.
Well, it's my dad, who's one of the most he likes conversations with people he likes. but only so much. He's not a real big people person. He kind of doesn't like people that much. He's changed. He's gotten softer and sweeter in his older age, but he, in his 20s, this guy who loves math, hates people, decided to become a fucking pastor. What the fuck is that shit? Like you're saying, I'm like, Dad, it doesn't make, you shouldn't be a pastor. It doesn't make any sense for you to do this. But I think it's because he's always had a little bit of a performance itch in him. He wasn't going to be the next fucking Rush guitarist or anything. So, I had to talk to people about a book every week for an hour. Yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah, whatever fucking does it for him, right? I respect that people can do that kind of shit. That's wild.
Well, it's like your sister being a fucking special ed teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I pray for those kids. I really do. I pray for those children. Italian women, man, they're fiery. Fucking fiery, easy to set off fucking people, dude. Oh my god. Oh yeah, love her to death. Very close we are, but I tread lightly. All people that are smart too.
Well, I would like a cigarette break, and then we can keep with the goofs, but I think we should transition into deep boys.
Yeah, let's all transition. We're all going to transition before we come back. We're all going to come back as he, thems, or whatever.
He, thems. Heathens.
Heathens.
Yeah, there's the bit. Alright, back in a moment. There we go.
No. Yep, hi.
Squad. I'm wafting this way, westbound.
Squad. No, so what was everyone's first introduction into comedy?
I just loved it as a kid, man. Just Rodney Dangerfield and all those guys, in the 90s that were killing it, just inspired me, and it just blew my mind that people could do that for a living. You know?
Yeah. So you kind of just sort of stumbled on it on your own?
Yeah, I just always tried to make everybody laugh around me. So I feel it's why not do this on stage? It works off stage, why can't it work on stage? You know what I mean? Yeah.
What about you?
My parents and my brother, probably, and they all, so I had a peppering of, because they all had different senses of humor, so my dad would put on George Carlin and Bill Hicks, who I got really into.
Dude.
Bill Hicks, yeah.
He really likes,
I didn't get into him until after I started doing stand-up, which is
interesting. Oh, really? It might also be that he's from Austin, so he'd be featured on local news and stuff.
True.
But and then my brother would give me copies of Mad Magazine or and we'd watch when I was really little. I would sit on his lap and we would watch Mr. Bean. That's the first comedy that I ever remember seeing. And
Mr. Bean, I remember watching some of that as a kid, but I never got deep down it.
Oh, he's amazing. He's
physical comedy. I know you have a thing for physical comedy. Oh,
so good. I always did. I would watch, and with my granddaddy and stuff, I'd watch the Three Stooges, Buster Keaton, old stuff. And my mom would pull in Monty Python. She got me a disc set, a DVD set of them, and when I was young.
Did you watch any of that stuff, Anthony? Monty Python?
I didn't watch Monty Python. My dad was a big Three Stooges person, which made me a big Three Stooges person.
My grandfather.
I was Shemp, dude. Hot take. I was a Shemp guy. All right. I'm fucking Shemp guy, dude. All right. I know he was maybe not the most popular of the Stooges, but I was a fucking Shemp man. All right. I'm not fucking ashamed to say it.
I was Mo the most because he was the meanest.
He was a dick,
mean, yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
He was always being a cocksucker.
I think Curly was my favorite because he was well intentioned.
Yeah, was the only maybe actual good person.
Friendly, dopey,
Are you guys ever jealous though of the level of comedy? Because obviously it's been pushed a lot since then. And back in those days, all they had to do was be near a person and be why I oughta. And everybody would be oh my god, why I oughta? How did you think of that? How did you think of why I oughta? What a genius! They had it so fucking good, dude. They didn't even know.
Just hit him on the head with a board.
Just when he goes to do this. And we're oh my god, this? How did you think of that kind of
defense. That tactical defense is incredible. Unreal.
No, I mean, sort of. I do like playing the game on hard though. I like doing comedy where it's like, oh, he's gonna talk about what, and he's gonna try to make that funny, and then if you pull it off, it's like, fuck yeah. It feels like Dark Souls or something. It feels like beating a boss in a video game.
Maybe I'm like just got a little bit of a different, but like I don't think like physical comedy. I think there's an artistry to it, or like that sort of maybe easy laughs or like simplistic, like those are things that have been funny for thousands of years. Those are ways of being funny where you don't necessarily even have to speak the language for a lot of it. It's funny to everybody. And like I think that there's an artistry to it. Like you don't just fall down. You fall down in a funny way without injuring yourself. You know, like that's more complicated than it seems. When you watch it, it's like, oh, that's just some dopey guy, get smacked in the head or whatever. But like the timing of it, the precision of it, is like dancing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. I mean, I wasn't doing clever jokes as a 6-year-old, but I was acting like Jim Carrey.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey's fascinating and hilarious and really smart.
Yeah, I honestly, I think
in defense of physical comedy, I just really like it.
I think I saw that stuff like Three Stooges, Jim Carrey, stuff like that before I ever saw stand-up. I think the very first time I ever saw stand-up, my dad showed me most of a Bill Cosby special.
Nice. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. Hey, not if it's mixing a drink. All right. But no, he did like 20 minutes at the top of an hour. It was all about like drugs and sex and stuff. And then he's like, that's not what I'm actually here to talk about. And the last like 40 minutes are about his family and his kids being idiots. And that was the part that my dad showed me first. Because he was like, let's go past the weed and cocaine and hooker talk. And then he's like, all right, now I'm going to do what I really came here to talk about. And he's talking about his family. And my dad was like, this guy's, like, I think because, he's a pastor, so the ability to communicate and have a room was, like, powerful to him. He thought that was cool. Obviously, fuck Bill Cosby. But,
some people did against their will.
Hey, there it is.
I'm sorry. It just was in there and I had to get it out. Dude.
Yeah. But then, eventually my dad would, like, let me watch, me and him watched, There's No Cure for Cancer, Dennis Leary's special.
I've seen it.
That was, like, when I was, like, 13, 14, he was like, we can watch this together now. And we watched that, and my dad was like, a little, maybe I should have watched that with my 14-year-old kid. But at the time, I was like, ooh, that's fucking cool. And then I got into Dane Cook a lot.
Yeah.
Some of his earlier stuff was fucking fire. I don't know, whatever.
That's
I think
true.
he's madly underrated.
You do look like somebody who had a Dane Cook face.
I did have a Dane Cook face.
Well said.
And also, like, when I was like a more spastic, energetic kid, that's the kind of goofs that I would do. I'd do weird shit and, like, crawl around the floor and make alien noises. His fucking alien bit is, like, it's funny. You know what I mean?
I will say I'm making fun of you for having a Dane Cook phase, but I had who's the guy that does the puppets?
Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
Oh God. I wish I didn't know that, but I do.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I know who he is too. I don't care for his stuff now, but
I was like 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I don't know. I might have been 12, but I'm not freaked out by like clowns and puppets and stuff. I still think that they can be funny, even though it's like weird and unsettling.
And his puppetry is usually very racist.
It's pretty racist. I have watched some more recently
need to
But
grab
also,
on
like,
sides, right?
why is it okay?
Yeah. What a fucking gentleman.
Why is it
Yeah,
okay for like
That's why the crap busting guys. That's what I'm
Austin,
Those wings are quick through you, man. I'll tell you.
In
like
and out.
Austin comics can be, you know, racist and controversial and say these words or like talk about certain groups. But if somebody makes a puppet of it, that's like way worse. I'm not like necessarily
it's
in
worse or
defense of
better?
Jeff Dunham. I'm just saying like why.
It's
like,
interesting.
What is it? The physical manifestation of it that's like ooh, like that makes people uncomfortable. Like this is here. I don't know.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with what you just said. Actually, I kind of agree. Because how many fucking micers do we see just say faggot and retard and do like horrendously misogynistic and racist bits that aren't that good or funny yet?
Well, yeah,
and
but
that's
even
acceptable.
Even if they are funny.
But if you do it with a puppet, then now you suck. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily true.
But he was like clean.
For thought.
Wasn't he clean?
Yeah,
Like, that's too.
as far as like language.
Yeah,
but
that's
not
where he went
like
wrong.
Concepts.
Yeah. True. There was a terrorist. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
what nationality the terrorist was.
We all know.
I'll just say.
That's interesting though. Thinking about like, would it be better if he was dirtier? Would it be more acceptable? Because it's more obviously a joke. Mm-hmm. If he says, you know, fuck and dick and cum, and all of a sudden it becomes less racist because it's already so ridiculous.
Or is it like the opposite way where it maybe shouldn't be as acceptable as it is, even if it is dirty?
Interesting.
It shouldn't be. I don't know.
As you know, like if I'm on any side, if I have any religion, it's jokes. I think that's the most important thing. So I don't ever want to be like, you can't make a joke about that. I think that's intrinsically ridiculous. But it is interesting to think of like why society reacts to a ventriloquist versus a stand-up in a different way. Like, I don't know.
It lightens it. It lightens the blow. It's like cartoons. Like on South Park and Family Guy, they say shit that real people can't say. To the people, it lightens the blow. It's stupid and it's all in your head, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like this guy's thinking it, but he's making a little cute doll say it. It lightens the blow. It's like when you have like for instance, I had a bit, and the punchline was, I was talking about dad bods. I don't know if you guys ever heard this one. I was talking about dad bods and how like I hate how people say they're in because I found it to not be true, yada yada yada. And I say that I don't think my problem is that I have a dad bod though. I think my problem is that I have the face of a rapist uncle. But when I said rapist though, it was like half laughs, half disgusted. Mm-hmm. So I changed it to rape-e, which is kind of a cutesy term, and it does way better now. Same thing. I changed it from rape. It's the cute version of rape.
It's cuter.
Everybody knows that. Come on,
Here's a rape-e.
You know the cute rape terms? What the fuck, dude? But like that's my point is I lightened it by adding rapey. You almost want to say it like it's cute, like rapey. You know what I mean? Rapist is like rapist. You know what I mean? But I lightened it so it was less of a gut punch. Same thing. If an angry Italian's saying fucking, terrorists are usually Muslim, it's like, ugh. But if I make a Muslim terrorist make Muslim terrorist jokes, it's like, oh, the little cute doll saying it. It's not bad. It's a little doll.
Man, it's interesting. Like we talked about this last time, but like I had the joke where it's like my girlfriend is saying I'm fat phobic, and because it's my girlfriend, someone I'm in a romantic sexual relationship with, people immediately hated me. But when I made it my sister, the incest made it so ridiculous that the rest of it was okay.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Touche, Dave. That's what I mean.
No, it's wild. It's wild that those things work sometimes and sometimes they don't. It's just interesting to think why. I used to just like sledgehammer people in the face with like getting raped as a kid. And it was very funny and cathartic for me. And then there was like 4 other people in the audience every time that had also been molested that were in stitches over it, like crying. They were laughing so hard, not because they were sad. Those are the people that know people that have been raped. They get really upset about it. But that's interesting too. Everyone else is like, oh fuck, I don't like any of this. This is uncomfortable. But the people that have been through it are like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, he's just like, yeah, you don't like looking at that? Stare at it. Like, you know. Which is I don't know. There's an interesting thing there.
I feel like there's, I don't know if it's like a format or what. I'm sort of forming the concept as I'm saying, but I feel like that sort of like, you make it a little bit either more over the top in some ways or less in others, that like you can sort of
find a flow to it.
Yeah, where you're like, when there's an obstacle, you gotta okay, that's maybe too much, but like you direct the flow of it. But I think that people get an idea about that's mistaken. Like, I think that you guys are both really good at crafting bits and figuring out how to make them work. I think a lot of people kind of miss that subtlety of like, oh, I should change this word that made everybody mad to like a cuter version of the word, or like, oh, I should change this relation. I think that people a lot of times will they're like, oh, over the top, more like, more controversial, more like, get in there. I feel like there's a lot of open micers who like, that's their idea. They're like, oh, if this is like good and funny, that if I just like, like harder, faster, like,
yeah.
And that's how we end up with like these really awful, like,
super edgelord,
racist, like bullshit. Not even that funny anymore, if it was ever. But like,
it's gotten beaten like over the head by like a extreme stick.
It's been like tortured instead of like rewritten.
The funny thing about that too is that knows no like age, sex, or gender. Like, you would think like it'd be like, oh, I bet you it's mostly the dudes that do that kind of shit. But every once in a while, dude, you see lady comics, they're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Like, they mentioned yeast infection like one too many times. You're like, come on.
Yeah. Or even the same thing. I think that a lot of the female comics in Austin, I don't know about elsewhere, but like, they're like, oh, this edgy thing works. So they lean into it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, like I can be like the dudes are, like,
I'm not
with
gonna
that.
name them.
But
I thought it sounded like you said the N-word. I heard the N-word.
he's just mumbling in here.
It's racial slurs. We just say really low volume.
No, and
but it's like sort of, they're trying to piggyback off of like the success of people who do that kind of comedy that succeed here.
Yeah, well, and there is definitely more of that culture here than it is pretty much anywhere else.
Not
because
good writing necessarily.
Well, but Austin has kind of become the scene where you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true.
So like no other scene that's massively successful, even if LA is not really anymore. But you couldn't do that kind of stuff in LA. You had to do other stuff or it wouldn't work. You wouldn't get work, You wouldn't get paid. Like, no one's gonna book you on your show if you're just saying faggot 15 times in a 5-minute set. It's just not gonna happen. And New York is less like that than LA was, or it is still probably. But not anywhere. Like, I've had so many New York comics that I've met at Roscoe's or elsewhere come up to me, they're like, dude, you can say anything here, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, I've experienced it.
What? Like, Ty Rivera works in Austin because in Austin he can do his act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, anywhere else, like, he's like, alright, I already tell I'm gonna be a lot for some of you people. But he can still do that same act in Austin, and it crushes. But like, I mean, he tours. He goes to other places. I don't know how much he tailors his style, or if he just doesn't give a fuck. I'm leaning towards the latter. With Ty, he's a fucking maniac, in the best possible way. Please book me. If Stevie's okay with it, I will suck your dick for stage time.
I'll film the whole thing.
But and he's a gay guy who says faggot a lot, and I think it's like, if anyone that can fucking do the act that he does, it's him. But the fact that like you can't even be that kind of comic anywhere else, I think makes comics in Austin think that they have to kind of be a little of that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think that they're right.
I don't agree with it either. I think I could do my act
a little bit
anywhere, but I think that Austin is the most fertile ground for what I'm trying to do. But it's just part of the reason I moved to Austin rather than New York. There's other reasons, like the world ending. But I don't do the kind of. Somebody's phone.
Dude, my phone's ringing. Sorry, dude. Anthony ruins everything. Let's call that the podcast. Is there already a podcast with that name? Probably. We'll just call this one Anthony Ruins Everything.
There's a show called
Adam Ruins Everything.
Ruins Everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
A
That's what
names.
we were thinking of.
Yeah.
But no, I think that. All right, let me ask you guys this: do you guys think that I'm like an edgy edgelord comic?
I don't know what really makes the qualifications for that. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, especially someone like me that likes dark and dirty shit. I like dark and dirty shit, so I don't know if I would call you that. I just think you're just saying funny shit. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would classify you that.
I'm definitely dark, for sure.
I would say you're like a little edgy, but not edgelord, and not in the same way that like we're talking about.
People we're talking about.
Right? Yeah, I think that you could go that way, depending on who like is the most influential to you in the next couple of years. I think you could get pulled down that dark path potentially, but I don't think that you're there, and I think that
I'm also trying to not
writing,
really be influenced by.
Well, yeah.
Anyone. I'm trying to like get to a place where it's just my style.
But you're always going to be. I mean, people are influenced by the
sure.
people around them. I mean, even if it's not comics, like.
But I would call myself like a clever one-liner comic more than I would call myself an edgy comic. You know, I just happen to do clever one-liners about pedophiles.
Well, yeah,
So-
and also, I mean, most of your stuff, even the stuff that is like a little bit controversial or difficult to swallow, or like what challenging or whatever, it's not racist and misogynistic and like cheap shots, punching down kind of thing. It's not. Even the ones like you do this thing where it sounds like you're gonna do that, and then you like.
I switch it.
Yeah, and that's great. I love that. I think that's much more clever and also like just better. Those are people that I would
those twists
call.
are what my favorite part of the whole thing is.
Yeah.
So like
I think that's better than the just like oh women rape these black people, like it's not interesting.
Yeah, like my one like I think it's about time I got a black school shooter bit. I'm actually shitting on diversity hiring in Hollywood. That's really what I'm talking about.
And like white people who do school shootings.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good social commentary.
Yeah, look at the numbers. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? The data is daunting. Let's just say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but, and so like it's not like I phrase it in a way that you could be like, oh shit, this is going to be racist, but then it's just insightful, or hopefully insightful.
Right.
It's still a dumb school shooting joke, but I don't know. It's just interesting to think about. I don't think either of you guys I would call you like edgelord, edgy comics. I think you both have dark and maybe edgy jokes, but I think your act is just way more just being funny and finding like interesting things.
Make me blush over here, dude. Make me fucking blush for my friends, alright?
I mean, you have a little bit more of a conversational style, and it's less like quick, short, one-liney kind of bits.
Yeah.
And you are dirty.
Yeah,
And you are dirty.
Yeah.
Very dirty.
Yeah.
And you swear a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
But I mean, I swear too. I think I do it more sparsely, and I use it as like weird punctuation more than anything. Or
I
like
don't really
dismissive.
swear that much.
No, you don't swear a whole lot on stage.
There's this like sometimes I'll kind of for emphasis, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know if I have any where it's like
You're the
part of my.
cleanest of the three of us, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely.
Both in hygiene and material.
No, actually, hygiene-wise, I feel
It's
like you probably got it.
Is it really? No
Yeah, we're dirty little crust pumps.
Oh,
I'm
fuck.
actually, you've been getting a lot of credit today for being gross. I don't think you're gross. I'm gross.
All right. She's like, I farted 8 times since we sat here. You've been farting this whole time. What's wrong with you?
As we were like walking up to the apartment, I tried to fart as much as possible so that I would fart here.
Isn't fart
like,
safe
less.
zone? Not at all.
That was
It's
my,
fart safe
I
zone,
didn't bring
dude.
like a hospitality like gift to you, but I did bring you fewer farts.
For me, the fart is the hospitality gift.
Oh well,
So
shoot.
you're shortchanging me by farting outside.
Sorry. Next
I'm a little
time,
upset.
next time I'll bring my game.
The hell,
my
bro.
A game. my fart game.
Disgraceful fart outside. Not with an Italian. That's how we talk, dude. We talk with our flatulence.
Talk about body language. They can't let me jumps. Fuck it, it's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Okay. I was thinking about like a little butt.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk with our hands and our asses. That's how we talk.
I'm gonna pee and smoke half a cigarette, but I'm not gonna pause it. You guys should keep on rolling on the thing.
Oh.
I can talk to fucking Helen Keller, dude, so
Daddy's
let's
gonna
make this happen.
go to the store real quick. I'm sure he'll be back.
Just going out for a pack of smokes.
So I got a topic. What about, since we're on the subject of Italians, am I one of like 4 Italians you've ever met because you're a Texan?
Yeah,
not a lot of us down here.
I haven't. I know I've known people who were Italian, or at least like part Italian. I dated a guy in middle school.
You learn from your mistakes, though. You're like, never again with these grease balls. He kept trying to hit me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, no shit. They're fucking smooth operators. In his defense, they're usually smooth
He
operators.
was very horny.
I'm sure. This is all
that a
ringing.
thing also?
Yeah, this is
Is
all
that
ringing
ringing
true.
true?
Yeah, you're hitting the nail on the head right now. No innuendo intended.
But yeah, no, I have not known too many.
There's not many down here, dude. We stay in the east.
Yeah.
We're east creatures. I don't know why.
Texas Italians, though, I don't know if you've met any, but they're kind of delightful.
Delightful?
Yeah.
Oh, they're nice.
But, like,
Oh,
I mean,
cool.
Would you call a Texas Italian a spaghetti western?
Whoa! Holy shit! Not bad, dude.
I'm coming in fire on these things. Also, I know I'm not on camera right now, but they can't hear me. It's very funny. We could just be squatting right now because he's totally got a generator in his bathroom.
Wait, what? What?
You got a fucking DeWalt generator in your bathroom. We totally
Have a
could.
generator? Oh, that's not a generator. Oh, that's why I was confused. It's a radio.
Oh, it's a radio?
Yeah.
Way less funny.
I was confused. I was like, a generator? I didn't even know I had it. What the fuck, dude? I got shit I don't even know I have. That's fucking insane.
That's way less funny than you having a generator in your bathroom.
Yeah. I just like listening to music while I'm in the shower. Very uneventful.
Oh, jeez.
What's your favorite shower tune?
I'm a 90s jam guy, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Big time 90s jam guy, early
Sweet.
2000s. Music nowadays is like insulting. A lot of the time. I hate to say that, sound old.
Are you like? I'm curious of like what people mean when they say that. Like, you mean like all music, like the music they play on the radio, like top 40s, like just what's popular in general, or like what?
Just the emphasis is different now, man. The
What do you
focus.
mean?
Everybody cares more about the beat than they do about the lyrics in every genre now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as the beat's cool, you can just like
I
make
agree.
weird. Like the rap, dude. These fucking retards. Pardon my French. I had to drop at least one retard. These
That's
morons.
like the 4th or 5th one, but
Yeah, you're right. There's been so many. What do I say? I broke the ice a long time ago with the retard. Broke the retard ice a long time. Popped the retard cherry a while ago.
Oh my god.
Fuck. What was I gonna say though? I got so far in this.
You got into a loop.
Of what? Of what? Just say it.
I don't want to.
But like rap, for instance, nowadays, these morons just put like a dope beat on and they just like say skirt, skirt mad times. And everybody's like, yo, that's just fire, son. It's like, yo, I want to light that shit on fire, son. There's nothing fucking talented about the shit they do these days.
Yeah.
That's just rap as an example.
Yeah.
Rap, I think, is maybe the worst culprit of it.
Yeah, I would say
You know?
rap and for sure, like pop music has gotten a lot more like that. Although I will say, like, I think is some stuff that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all bad.
Like, I don't know, like, I like Billie Eilish, for instance.
Yeah,
like,
she's popular as fuck.
And it's very beat heavy, but some of the lyrics are pretty good.
I mean, she's doing something right.
I listen to weird stuff. I'm always trying to find something new or different that I haven't found before. So I find a lot of new stuff that's like, you know, it's not as popular and you might not hear it on the radio. Oh, wait, look at that. Okay. I'm just gonna, alright, whatever I was talking about.
You have a very eclectic taste in music.
Oh, yeah. Well, but so it leads me to modern music that makes me feel less jaded about how music is now.
Makes sense.
It's not as popular, it's maybe a little bit harder to find, but like there's some good stuff, I promise.
I believe it. Yeah, it's sparse now. It's not what it used to be. It's harder to find now, like you said.
It's harder to find, and there's so much of it.
I dig a lot. I'm a fucking music head, man. I dig bad. But Stevie has legitimately shown me bands that I have never heard of that I look into and I'm like, oh, this band has been a band for 15 fucking years and they're like perfect. They're exactly what I like. What the fuck?
Damn.
It's wild. Shout out Proto-Martyr.
Proto-Martyr?
Proto-Martyr.
Proto-Martyr.
Yeah, all one word. They're
Okay.
a post-punk band out of Detroit.
No shit.
Fucking rad. They're really good. Yeah.
No shit. The only good thing to come out of Detroit for a long time.
Since fucking GM was still around.
Tim Robinson and
Oh yeah, Tim Robinson.
fucking Proto-Martyr. Yeah.
And Motown.
Yeah.
Motown. Yeah.
I mean, that was a while back.
Yeah, true, yeah.
They're still bringing it up because, you know.
That's all they got. That and heroin. That's all Detroit's got, dude. That's all they have left.
I've been like a lot of heroin. Wait, isn't Eminem from Detroit?
True. Tim Allen.
Okay, Tim Allen's from Detroit.
Detroit area, like Ann Arbor, maybe. I don't
Okay.
really know. But then Detroit, you know how those
That's
fucking people
funny,
are.
though.
Eminem too. He's from suburb.
From 8 Mile. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. But it's like a trailer park next to Detroit.
Kind of made a movie about it. It was. Well, I really can't.
I haven't heard of it. I'm just kidding.
No, weirdly, side tangent, just for a baby second. Do you know that the movie Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal is the Eminem story, but if he was a boxer?
They just like put a boxing twist on the Eminem story.
Yeah.
No shit.
Instead of a rapper, he's a boxer.
Why?
And it's the exact, other than that, beat for beat, it's the same fucking movie.
No shit.
I don't know. The screenwriter was like, oh, like a struggle to success story. Oh, like Eminem. Let's make him a boxer, though. And
I think Eminem's a lefty too.
Nah, interesting. Fucking interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, you're like fucking Sherlock Holmes, dude. Holy fuck.
Jamie, Google
He's
it.
a lefty, I think. Yeah.
Can you Google it? Give it a goog?
That's the production guy that gave it a Googerton.
Oh, wait, there's not. We don't have a producer.
Not a person.
All right.
We need a little Asian intern. Who's got a little Asian?
You want to run your Deep Boys ideas past Anthony? We'll
They
play it
don't
along.
really make as much sense without having seen
without the
movies.
homework.
Oh, who ruined the whole thing? Who did that?
I could
Some
have been thinking
asshole.
about something this whole time, but I was not.
Well,
so, let's
the other idea is
Yeah,
to.
Steve read my mind on the weed.
I can
Because he's
feel
a
it.
fucking genius.
I can feel it. I can feel you being like, "Where's the bowl? We're gonna talk to you, Deep Boys. I need the bowl."
Hell yeah, dude. Hell fucking.
I think I just fucking
what
got
are you gonna say?
shit all over your thing.
Oh, bro, I don't give a fuck. You didn't see how I empty it? I empty my bowl like a frat guy, dude. I literally like this. Like I'm blessing my apartment.
That's literally what I just did. So.
Nasty ash fairy.
I'm
Just
glad.
fucking make a rain ass.
I'm
Fuck, I don't
glad,
want this
I'm
bitch.
glad we're on the same page.
Hardwood floors, fuck you. You know what I mean? He's blowing, that shit's gone. He's gone.
Well, I thought maybe it would be interesting to do one of the Deep Boys that you still had, Stevie, despite not everyone doing their homework.
Okay.
And then have that be a tie-in to
Next
next
week.
pod,
Okay.
where we talk about those movies and then we can get like a before and after Anthony situation,
Okay.
where his ideas about said things may or may not be influenced by the movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That sounded like a karate move.
It did. Some Street Fighter shit. That was a Street Fighter sneeze. Rap.
Fuck yeah.
I am a loud sneezer. Remember earlier I mentioned working with my brother and his stress level? He's real stressed, right? One time we were in a basement. He's working on a panel, like one of those electrical boxes in the basement. And I sneezed really loud and it scared him. And he fucking lost it on me.
Oh,
He's like, fucking really? I was like, dude, it's a fucking sneeze. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, if I could have fucking bypassed this, and I would have. Like, it's a fucking sneeze.
Yeah.
How you mad at somebody for sneezing? That's like in your mouth.
Yeah.
Unless somebody sneezes in your mouth, you're like, you're a dick.
Yeah.
But it was just, the decibel level of my sneeze wasn't appropriate for the scenario. I guess. What a cocksucker. Don't ever be Italian, folks. Whatever you do.
You will be a cocksucker or a cunt, apparently, is what we played.
Have you guys ever worked for your family or no?
I mean, technically, I
Like
ran.
a pastor thing, yeah.
I ran I participated in church things for many years, but I did run a venue out of my parents' church, so technically for a time I worked for them. I had a key to the church, which once I got on heroin was just a bad idea. Have those two things in the same thing. Because you start like stealing shit from the church, because heroin, you know.
Yeah, that happens.
That's still one of my most shameful memories. We're getting a little deep boys about that. But yeah, no. Other than that, I never worked for my family. That sounds not awesome. I do have a friend that like his brother has like a cleaning company down in the Delaware beaches, and my buddy works with his brother and does that like in the off season for extra income and loves it. But I think that's maybe the only example I can think of where working with your family, unless you're like uber rich and taking on the family business or something, wasn't terrible.
That's risky too, because he's so good at cleaning. If you guys ever got into it and he murdered you on the job, he can clean it so nice nobody would know.
Oh, that's pretty scary.
I would never do that job with my brother. Let's put it that way, dude.
That's fair.
They'll never find you. Oh man. Turn you guys into potheads. Fuck yeah.
She's smoking way less.
I've been skipping it.
That's okay. I was not as high as I thought I would be from the first bowl, so I was like,
Yeah, this weed's not that good.
it's kind of poop weed. I'm okay for a little bit. This is where we're like, no, you're not turning us into potheads.
Yeah, turning down peer pressure. You're like, I saw those commercials, bro. I watched those commercials in the 90s.
Yo, dude, how fucking funny were those fucking commercials?
Mad funny. It was always a kid dying, but it was still funny.
or like a dog talking to a girl. You remember that one where she's like, the dog starts melting and she's on the couch and it's like, why are you making me melt? And then she's like, oh, my dog's melting. And I was like, that was acid. That wasn't. That wasn't
Somebody
weed.
spiked your
You're like, I
pot.
fucking wish we did that. I smoke way more.
Or like the commercial where they smoke a joint and then the one kid's like goes into his dad's gun cabinet. He's like, I'm so high right now, nothing can hurt me. And it's like, that's not weed. That's methamphetamines. What are you?
Yeah. If you're high, you're not touching that fucking gun. You're like,
You're like, whoa, bro.
Like, that looks unsafe. I'm not touching that thing. That just looks like it hurt someone. Let's eat nachos instead.
Yeah. Right.
Peace, man.
This fucking crazy drug addict that I used to work with at the chicken deboning plant. The chicken plant in Delaware.
Sounds like there'd be some drug addicts there. It's a good gig for a drug addict.
He was like, I was giving him a ride to and from work because, you know, I needed gas money and he was insane. So he was like, yeah, dude, it's never been weed's the issue, man. Weed's never my issue. It's like, the only thing I want to get into when I'm all stoned on weed is cupcakes. But like, if I, you know, drink a half a bottle of whiskey, then I'm like, let's get some cocaine. And before you know it, you're killing a hooker, you know? It's like, keep giving me $10 for gas every day, please, and don't stab me.
So the moral of the story is cocaine not that bad. Worst thing that happens is you kill a hooker.
Jesus.
You're not gonna miss them. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus
Just kidding. It's like you're killing a reel. You're killing a hooker.
A real. Not a real.
You're killing a normal. It's a prostitute, dude. One less girl named Amber in the world.
Oh my god.
That's terrible. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh god.
Oh shit.
Oh god, that hurt my chest. Like, in a good way. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's really good. That's really good for me.
Oh god.
Oh, all right. Stevie, run the deep boys idea.
Deep us. Hit us with the deep. Hit us deep, would you?
I mean, you sure you don't want to just do like double deep boys next week?
We DP it
Yes.
next week. Double deep. We'll go double deep
I am
next
sure
week.
that we can do all the deep boys next week also, but we gotta at least end the pod in the homage way that we do.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
Favorite comic died.
One
Do
thing-
deep boys every week.
What about this one?
Okay.
Each one of us say one thing we've overcame in the comedy scene.
there you go.
Or
Okay.
is that yeah.
Nah, it's a little gay, but I'm a little gay. I'll fuck around.
Dropping gayness breadcrumbs everywhere, baby. Is that okay? I don't know. Let's talk about our feelings. Let's accessorize and talk about our feelings. I'm not kidding.
I feel like that's a quick one. We might still be able to get to another one, but I like that. Let's do it. I think I'm not going to start this one. What do you guys do?
Ooh, misdirected itself. I thought he was going to go.
What I've overcome.
Like a challenge or somebody being a cocksucker to you,
Yeah.
or something that's been tough that you've gotten better at because you keep doing it. You're not giving up.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you start this one.
The more I explained it, the more she's like, "Yeah, you got this time."
Well, you had the idea, so you might as well kick it off.
Yeah.
I like it.
Something that I've conquered in comedy is, I think, just being myself more. Not to get too deep on you. That's some
Don't
deep
get too deep.
inside.
Talk to me about it.
Balls deep, we don't mind. Send it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like for a long time I was kind of like not myself, or I was like robotic, like reciting bits. But now I'm like turning to myself. Like, you mentioned the fact earlier that I swear a lot and I'm dirty a lot. Well, guess what? In real fucking life, I'm dirty a lot and I swear a lot.
Yeah.
That's starting to come out. I need that because it's me. That's
more
not for
authentic.
everybody. If it's not you, don't do it on stage. You look like a fool. But if it's you and it's coming out, people are just getting moist in the crowd. All these fucking seats at Roscoe's are just fucking stained from moisture, dude.
Yeah. Well, no. So
beautiful.
the authenticity is what you're saying.
Yes.
You become more authentic.
I just kept doing it until it's like I sound like myself out there. I feel like myself out there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's a little nervous, but it's like fucking ants here now, bitches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That scared, creepy Italian-looking guy's gone. It's this guy now, bitch. You know what I mean? So me, myself, and Irene type shit.
Not even just authenticity,
Yeah.
but like you're more comfortable
Right,
in your
yeah.
own skin as a comic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's huge.
It's big.
That's really fucking huge.
It's large.
Hell yeah, man.
Yep.
Talk to me about it more.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, dude. I've been holding that one in for a minute. I'm starting to hurt. You starting to feel that pressure right here? I was like, gots to, dude. My bad. That's the fucking chicken wing nerve.
Well, like when do you feel like that really started to happen for you?
When I first came to Austin, I was nervous as fuck because it's like the stakes are higher here, you know, than upstate New York. People like don't even know there's a comedy scene there. You know what I mean? But it's actually not bad. I miss it kind of. To be honest, a lot easier to get on stage. But there it was easy to be myself, and here I found it to be hard.
Okay.
But I've started to see that bits I was doing when I first got here are starting to work now. That's how you know you're being more yourself. Bits that when I first came here, I was nervous, and I was doing bits that I knew worked that weren't working. And I was like, what the fuck? It's because I'm nervous and being robotic and like, not loose. You know,
Yeah.
so now I'm just sounding more loose and like I'm just having a combo with these people. I'm very conversational in my comedy, as you guys know.
Yes.
You know, I'm very conversational with everything.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
You're very conversational. Perfect for podcasts. It's
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. Amen, sister. So what do you guys got? I fucked you
All right.
guys, dude. First it was the
fun.
movie
Yeah,
thing.
that was a strong start. All right.
I mean, I can take the
No, it's fine.
No, I don't want to hear you talk, Dave.
No, yeah.
We're all thinking
I
that she just said it.
I'm going to anyway, but mine will be pretty short. It's just like I don't know, it's kind of like a lamer version of yours.
Oh,
But
God.
like just like confidence. confidence in general, confidence in my ability to be funny, confidence in my like capability in general, and like worth as a human. I think comedy has helped a lot with in a new kind of way, because like I have ups and downs with that in my life, with like how confident I feel about in myself and my my worth or whatever specific thing, but with comedy it's sort of opened up this new like sort of fuck you energy a little bit, but like that's kind of, I think, a little bit healthy for me.
Yes.
Because I'm not naturally like that. I don't get mad. I don't like conflict. I don't, But like my confidence in that, like no, this is funny. I know I'm funny. Like, sort of makes me feel like my worth is not tied up in it exactly, but like it's pulling me up, I think. The act of doing it, getting the responses, learning, like growing, like having goals with it is like pulling me up in general, making me feel like I can take that space, like that you take on stage or whatever. Like I can pull that into other parts of my life. Like I can take up this space. I don't have to like make myself fit into like what's gonna make other people feel comfortable.
You have to be small.
Yeah.
You see, that was dope, dude. You made it sound like it was gonna be stupid.
It got smarter as I went along.
She's like, guys, this is gonna suck. Like, brace yourself. That was fucking kind of good, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, you told me specifically, still talking about your thing, that like you fell in love with comedy. I think we talked about this last pod where you had this moment. You were like, "Oh, I actually am not scared to get on stage. I'm excited." Because, like, I can be whatever the fuck I want. I'm a badass up on stage. It's fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And I know you pre-comedy, post-comedy. And I think that has, like, really filled out that space for you. You needed something you could feel like a badass about. And you could tell everyone to go fuck off if they didn't like it.
Yeah.
I had to come at it from the opposite thing. So the thing that I think I overcame in comedy recently, or at least over the past year, in a bigger way than I ever had before, is like being able to keep the audience with me. Like, because it's like a coin toss with my style. If I get on stage, if they're gonna hate or like me right away. If I get a laugh in the first 15 seconds. They're gonna like me. They're gonna be on board. If I don't, I'm gonna bomb. I'm gonna eat shit now. I might get in with one joke, but like immediately they're gonna be like, "Oh, I do not like what this guy is saying." So I've had to come at it from a different way, where I'm still doing the same material, I'm still doing the same jokes, I'm still writing the same style, but I can get them on board, even if they don't like it, even if they don't like the shit that I'm saying. I can be like, you guys see how this is, you get on board with me. Will you guys fucking love pedophilia? I'm making fun of it up here. You hate that?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I can keep the audience with me, even if they probably would not have chosen to see me as a comic.
Fallbacks.
You've gotten friendlier and like more clever with your ability to.
Yeah. I'm less mean
to lead them
on stage
with you.
Yeah.
Make them feel like they can go on that journey with you.
Right. I mean, because if someone knows me in person, they know that I'm gonna say a dickhead, mean, shitty thing to them, but it's a joke. I'm just trying to make them laugh. They don't know me from Adam on stage unless like they've seen my stuff or specifically coming to see me at this point. But I've gotten able to. Like I'm going into this club, this room cold. They don't really know me. They're not prepped for my style. Like sometimes people, when they introduce me, say that like I have a dark sense of humor, or they call me the Dark Prince of the Austin comedy scene. Which
I've never heard anybody say that with you.
Self-proclaimed.
I believe you.
I'm just kidding.
I believe you.
I think Anthony's the first person that ever said that. He's like, they call you the Dark Prince of Comedy here or some shit? I think you're
Did I say that?
Yeah, you for sure.
I say a lot of shit. I don't remember that, dude.
But then, like, people started bringing me on stage and using that term, and I was like, is this a real thing? I thought Anthony was just pulling my dick.
Trendsetter, dude. Fuck, man. Accidental trendsetter. Goddamn.
Whatever, I'll take it. I think it's it's better than the green-haired comic,
That's not bad either, dude.
Well, I mean, it's recognizable, but it's not. It doesn't really like describe what the fuck I'm about. But even without that, like, they're just like, this guy's very funny. He's a regular at Roscoe's and Velveeta Room and the Sunset Strip. This is Dave Borowski. And I'll come out, and within, like, the first 30 seconds, like, the audience gets what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And are there for it. And not just immediately put off by it. And I think that was, like, maybe the biggest hurdle I've ever had to overcome in comedy. Other than maybe just moving halfway across the country and taking it super serious. But yeah, for me, that's definitely the first thing that comes to mind is that, like, I've had to get them to want me to be mean to them for the material.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out how to, like, keep them open to what I was gonna say, even though I know that it's gonna be dark and offensive and probably upset most of the people here. But how do I keep them with me and not, like, get them to just immediately be like, oh, well, fuck this guy, and just, like, turn off. And honestly, I'd rather get boos than silence.
Mm-hmm. At least you're making people feel something.
Yeah,
getting some kind of reaction.
Getting something from them. And I would get a lot more boos than silence in Philly. I would piss people off enough that they either yelled at me or I didn't get booked on that show anymore or whatever the fuck it was. But I'm good at getting neither anymore because I keep people on. Like, I think I'm better at translating how my thinking to get to this being funny is to the audience, and, like, them figuring out like I am doing comedy. I'm not just up here doing free therapy. Like, I'm getting to a thing that will be funny. Just trust me and follow. And I think I've gotten very good at that over the past, like, year or two. So that's what I would say. It's not just immediately being hateable. You're somewhat more likable or something.
That fucking segment ended up being alright. When I first pitched it, I was a little nervous. I was like, maybe this was a stupid idea, but that actually, I think that brought up some good things, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty
No, that was good stuff, man.
And it kind of tied into the, what is it called, boys?
The Deep Boys.
Deep Boys.
Yeah.
It ties into the deep.
Yeah.
Getting deep.
I feel like that was,
See?
I mean, yeah.
It was like a spin-off.
We're talking about how we're improving ourselves and
All right, 3:21. You guys want to do another, like, 15-minute segment and call it?
Sounds like a goddamn plan, Davey boy.
Cool.
I thought of
what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Whoa.
Ooh, I don't like this one.
I went first last time.
I was gonna say we can scrap that, or I can start.
I feel like we should send it now that it's in the cloud. That question's in the cloud. We gotta fucking just address it. Unless you don't want to take it to that level.
I think
I mean,
probably
I'm
the
okay
second
with it,
time I
just
ever did comedy was the most embarrassing thing I ever did or happened to me. I mean, unless you count, like, shit that I did as a drug addict before I got clean and then just being arrested for it and going to rehab. That was pretty fucking embarrassing. But, like actually embarrassing thing, probably is the second time I ever did comedy, and I invited all my friends and thought I was gonna fucking kill because I murdered my first 5 minutes that I ever did it. And then it just like, they couldn't even, like, look at me on stage because the crowd hated me so fucking much. I definitely talked about that when we were talking about our worst bombs last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably the moment where I was, like, the most, like, publicly feeling super amounts of shame. Mm-hmm. And I peed on a dog in the middle of the mall when I was, like, the crazy fucking teenager.
Whoa, dude. You call him PETA. That's fucked up. You R. Kelly, the dog? That's fucked up, dude.
Well, yeah, but, like, I had no shame. So like it wasn't shameful or embarrassing to me. Like even though I had to like run off of mall property, yeah, and then be like, you know, whatever, fuck the cops, I'll do whatever I want. You know, being a piece of shit little punk teenager.
Poor dog.
The dog was an asshole. That's why I peed on it.
Okay.
Dog had to come.
It bit my friend.
Oh, okay.
And then the owner was like, I'm not putting it on a leash, you should leave. Like, and the dog was just like running around trying to bite my friend, so I peed on it.
Damn.
It was funny.
Okay.
The dog tried to bite my dick, which is maybe the funniest part. But it was a little mean, little teeny dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You thought it was one of those little sausages? You thought it was little mini sausage treats?
I thought it was a fucking Vienna sausage, yeah, for sure. That's so stupid. But no, but I didn't feel any shame about it because I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm justified in this because this shitty dog owner at the mall is just letting their dog run around without a leash, biting people. And I think it was like an old woman, and her whole thing was just like, it's so small, I can't hurt you. And it was like, yeah, but your dog's a cunt. Like, your dog is awful. But I didn't have any shame about that. I didn't experience like embarrassment.
No,
I was like,
I'm getting that.
Fuck you.
I'll give you guys. I can't pick one, so I'll just give you a fun little snapshot.
Little smorgasbord?
Yeah, sometimes the things that pop into my head when I'm trying to go to sleep. Okay.
I'm listening, but I'm also gonna pee.
Okay.
Incredible hearing.
Yeah, he's a really good listener. We're gonna be able to hear you pee too.
Yeah, that's funny.
You get a full experience here on this podcast. You get to hear the sounds of male urination.
This is the most embarrassing.
There's been numerous farts they didn't hear.
thing. This right here, right now.
There's been numerous farts they didn't hear. There's been numerous silent but deadlies. So there might as well be some pee. We've already had bowel.
Alright, but I'm gonna wait until you're done because like I can't concentrate with the fucking faucet on.
That'll ruin the ambiance of a story.
Yeah.
The sound of human pee in the background.
No, it's not a white noise.
It's yellow noise.
Mine's pretty clear right now.
Oh, good for you. Okay, so one time I was on a train and there's this guy making eyes at me and we were like, you know, sort of like silently flirting the whole time, and I tried to kiss him on the mouth before I left the train, and
he was giving me a weird look.
He was not. I was misjudging something in the eyes, and it was. So I had to like go off. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a cool, like little, like just like one, you know, like passing strangers on a train, and he was like, and I was like, fuck me, God. I was blushing for like 6 hours. I think I didn't sleep that night.
Oh, God.
Okay, I got a couple more. They'll be fast. I'm blushing again thinking about it. It's just not good. Not good. I'm too autistic to try to pull off shit like that.
I kind of have to pee now. Is that rude?
All right. Okay, I'll be really
Look how
fast.
many drinks I've had. It's like a fucking wet bar over here, dude.
Okay, so my mom caught me masturbating, but the way that I was masturbating was I had my legs like up, pointed like at the door, so it was like full on.
Pussy.
Right there.
Spread eagle.
Right there. Yeah. I was getting into it.
She got me right as a climax. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Played doctor with another little girl when I was like, I don't know, it was probably like 7 or 8 maybe, and it was like, you know, we were like playing with each other's buttholes. Again, my mom walked in.
You give each other a rectal exam. You gotta respect that, dude. You're worried about each
I
other's.
just needed the one.
Okay. Each other's digestive health.
Also, I showed my full-blown butthole to a nice elderly couple one time.
You're just sharing. You're just sharing with them. Like, you gotta respect that, dude.
I was at
this
a park, and I had gone swimming, and I was changing out of my wet swimsuit, so I closed the door a little bit, and I crouched behind it because I was like, all the cars are over here, and I'm like taking off my bottoms, squatting down like this, and I realized that cars also go here, and was like halfway down my leg, so I can't really, do anything. I try to stand up really quickly, and I look over, and there's this elderly couple just like,
oh God,
I don't know. They must have liked what they saw or had good senses of humor.
That's funny.
They were amused.
They're good sports about it.
I was mortified.
Damn, you closed one door and then opened another. You closed this door, then you opened the back door.
I guess now that I think about it, I had kids in my freshman year of high school used to make fun of me for getting boners in class. That was pretty fucking embarrassing.
Kid gets fucking good erection. That's fucking something to be proud of.
At the time it was just like, oh, he's got a boner, and I was like, I don't know why this keeps happening. Like, I just came the first time like fucking 3 months ago. Now this thing won't leave me alone. I used to get him on the fucking bus too, and like some of the girls on the rode the bus would like come over and like rub my leg and like talk cute to me just so I'd get a fucking boner, and then they'd all make fun of me.
Dude,
that was pretty fucking shitty.
you'll miss those days when you get to the blue chew phase. You know what I mean? Once you get to that blue chew,
I'm excited about it.
You'll miss those days.
I'm excited about being like, I will turn this on to turn this on, so it's not just like, hey, you remember me? I have to fucking be taken care of every once in a while, or you murder someone. Like,
That's all true.
Okay, it's your turn.
Embarrassing things. A lot of mine from when I was a kid, because I was a mess when I was young. Like one time I pissed in my own mouth.
Okay.
True story, I was very young. That's an embarrassing one, right? Like,
That's pretty embarrassing.
Was it on purpose?
I was probably like 10, and I was pissing straight up in the air, like, but it was still landing in the toilet, which I thought was impressive. I was impressed with myself. At 10, that's like the dopest shit. I was like, telling all my friends. I was pissing straight up, and it was him like doing like a U-turn, like going back in the toilet. And I remember I was like pissing. I think I glanced out the window or something. The piss just got right in my fucking like mouth. I spit my own piss. I spit my own piss into a toilet. At age like 10, yeah.
That's incredible.
Another time, I accidentally pissed in my dad's face. Yeah. I pissed right in my own father's face.
I need more context.
So that's not all you want to know? Alright. So we put out this ad on back pages. We put out this ad on Craigslist. No, I'm just kidding. My dad answered it. No. So I was at a cruise, right? And you guys can probably tell by my diet soda intake on the day, I'm like a, diet soda-aholic. Seriously, I love that shit, right? So I'm on this cruise ship. It's probably regular soda back then, because I was like a little roly-poly Italian kid back in those days.
Back in the day?
Yeah. My titties were even bigger back in those days, dude, believe it or not. So I was just chugging sodas all day with the soda card. You felt so cool when you were little to go up to the bar on the cruise ship with like the Pepsi card, and they just gave you one. You felt like a gangster. Bitch, I got the I'm in the club, bitch. You know what I mean? So I drank like 85 sodas that day, right? Like they were fucking incredible amount of soda, right? So I was like half asleep. I was in and out of sleep, and then all of a sudden I realized I had to piss really bad, and I was on the top bunk. My dad was on the bottom bunk, right? So I wake up like with the fucking moisture like reaching the tip. Like I was like ready to piss as I woke up. So I'm flying down this little mini ladder, dude, and my dad's sleeping underneath, and my dick just starts pissing full fucking blast, dude. I pissed like in my dad's like eye. Like while my dad like was half asleep as well, I legit pissed directly into his like fucking ocular area. Like my dad, isn't that crazy? I think he literally, and my dad's a good sport, so I think he literally woke up saying like, "Who's pissing on me?" Like it was very straightforward. Like, is that piss? And it was piss. Yeah, dude. True story. That's on my mother.
I think you broke Stevie.
Cross my heart, hope to die, dude. That really happened, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's all. It's in the vault, guys. I gave you a little taste of the vault.
I had a feeling this would be funnier than we thought it would. At first, it felt like it was going to be sad and depressing. That's all true. Incredible.
I wish it wasn't true, but it's all true. A lot of pee stuff, mostly. Oh, I got some weird poop stories, dude. If you guys, I don't know how far you guys want to take this. We can do a whole pod about my pee and poo incidents.
One time, I shat right in front of a particular teacher's door in high school.
Not a fan of this teacher? Or was this like
not a fan of this teacher?
Okay.
But also I thought it'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was. I became kind of a little bit of a legend.
No way.
When they're like, oh my god, is it true that you shat in front of Mrs. Jones's door? And I was like, yeah.
Is it true you're a hallway squatter?
Yeah. And it was perfect too, because it almost looked like the fucking poop emoji. It was the perfect little coil with like, you know, like the soft serve top, you know.
Yeah, had to.
And it was glorious. And I was like, I wanted to like smear it around with like some of my art material to like write something crazy, because I was a fucking psycho. But it was just it was like such the perfect shit that I was like, gotta let go, dude. But again, no shame about it whatsoever. Gotta know when your art is done. Yeah, no shame about it whatsoever. I was not embarrassed or, you know, like mortified by it. I was like, that fucking rules.
The poor janitor killed himself the next day. Yeah. The next day, the janitor just blew his brains out.
No, I mean,
this is the last shit I'm fucking cleaning. I can't do this again.
Maybe not to have some shame. I think it's maybe healthy.
No, but like
it's fucking Dave Barowski. I know it. He fucking does it every time. It's always fucking Dave Barowski, man.
No, but like famously and legendarily, what happened was that Mrs. Jones stepped in it, and it was this glorious thing.
How do you not? I don't understand.
It's because the door opened out.
Oh.
The door opened out, so it like smeared the poop a little bit.
Yeah.
And she stepped in it, slipped on it, and then fell into it.
Oh my god.
And almost quit her job.
That's the Grand Slam. It was a Grand Slam, buddy, right there.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
To be a fly on the wall, I might like bite off one.
To be a fly on that poop.
Yeah. If I could have somehow witnessed this thing that happened, because like there were kids in the hallway, not many, but like I pooped in between classes, so the hallway was empty. There's fucking not a soul around. And then I went to the bathroom, wiped, and went back to fucking class because I thought it was the funniest shit ever. And but like it was during like class change, because I did it when she was like had no classes that period, so I knew she was just gonna be in her fucking classroom and then open up the door again for like the next class that comes. But that was the period she could just like grade papers and stuff, because she was my fucking math teacher. Yeah, that was me. Sorry, if you're still alive. But so it was like I had this scheme perfectly planned, but I like had to go to theater or art class or something next, so I was like really focused on it. And but I was told by several people that they saw her like slip and fall and poop. And then she was like,
phrase used for real. She slipped and fell in the poop. She slipped and fell in the fecal matter.
And she was livid, like turned bright red, and was like swearing and like saying she was gonna quit her job.
Would be too, man. That was some little shit kid.
Literally.
Fucking turned my day into that shit. God.
Ugh. Well, she would just like always like anytime I said anything in her class, she would just always like try to like make me feel dumb or small or whatever, and then I would challenge her thinking on it and be right about it. And this is why my parents are also hating me in this period of my life, because I'd be like, oh well, based on your logic, you're kind of a fucking hypocrite. How do you feel about that? You know, shit like that, because I was the worst.
God, I bet you were insufferable.
But she would always start with me. I'd come in and be like, hey, how you doing? You know, good morning or whatever. And then she'd fucking, oh yeah, Dave, what do you think about that? And she wouldn't call me Dave, actually. She'd always call me David, which pissed me off. And she wouldn't, I'd be like, call me Dave, please. And she'd be like, no, your name's David. I was like, what am I calling? It's like, oh, all right, kind of fuck you. How about that? But yeah, no, she was the fucking worst.
You're just like, nobody calls me about a government name. Nobody.
No. I am not a Christian, and I'm not a fan of the government. Call me Dave. They can't all be genocide.
That was badass, though. The voice was dope. You had me intrigued.
Yeah, but the thing is I feel like if I was a better person, I would have had a lot more embarrassing, shameful moments. I just didn't care, so none of them I was ever embarrassed about. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I think I actually do think that, I said it earlier, it's like a kind of a goof, but I think there's a healthy amount of shame. I think it's good. I think it's protective. I think it
Yeah, like
helps
we
people,
gotta get these fat models
do
to take a fucking job.
better.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking
Eat a
about,
salad.
I'm talking about you, Dave. I'm talking about you.
Tell me about it. This don't even get me started. Bitch, eat a salad. No, I'm just kidding.
If you're in a lingerie ad, I think you should probably have to eat a salad a week. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Well, depends what kind of think you are.
I think you guys both currently should be ashamed of the direction that you took my conversation prompt. I think that this is a perfect example where some of that shame would be healthy.
It's not good for the business. It's not good for the goofs.
Yeah, I think you even mentioned misogyny like recently, didn't you? And then we just went off on this tangent about like fat bitches though. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Like what's the deal with fat bitches?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like, I'm sorry your thyroid is inflamed, you know?
Like
No, you're not.
Be happier and skinnier and
this is big kale craze in America. And now obviously this bitch didn't get the memo. You know what I'm saying?
Have you tried
Everyone
kale?
loves
It's
kale,
gross.
but not this bitch.
I fucking love kale.
It's like lawn trimmings.
I mean, I like a fucking piney IPA too, so it's not that crazy different. All right, I think we did it, guys.
I think
we
we
do it.
fucking whoa, dude.
Did we do it?
I think we did.
Did we do a podcast?
We climaxed.
We did we? Is that what this is?
Hmm. So not everybody did their homework, not just.
Oh shit!
But
Double entendre
all
from the kid.
right, well, we'll wrap it up as one does a podcast, I suppose. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, you're kind of a hero. And
Yeah, I'm impressed.
yeah, it's impressive. And Stevie Schafer, tell the people where they can find you.
I already did at the beginning, but
did you do
you can
this
find
again?
my Instagram is Made for Stevie Movie. I don't post, but like I'm cool, so you follow me or whatever.
Anthony?
And you guys heard it at the beginning, like Stevie touched upon, but it's Anthony Mone Comedy on Instagram, or you can find me on the other side of most glory holes.
Wait, which side?
That's a mystery. I like to leave some mystery there for the viewers. You know
The
what I
other
mean?
side. Just the other one.
Can't show all your cards. You can't. You
It
know.
could be either side. It's
Yeah.
just the one that you're not on. That
Yes.
is
There
on
you
the
go.
other one.
All right.
Yes.
Uh,
Either way, there's a cock.
Yeah. And I'm Dave Borowski. It's just my name on the things. And the stuffs on the U and the tubes and the Instagrams. We're gonna try to get you another one of these sooner. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.